could at least put like a pink dot or something on the girls so that we at least know like what's what. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, I don't know. So that being said, I am learning that you have to have like a limit at some point. Like you have to be like, this is this is the same thing that this person looks like this person because I only have like 20 old people miniatures. So yes, I know there's an infinite amount of art, and I could have a unique old person for every single miniature, but just believe me that this is an old person. You know, it's like you start to get so spoiled on the stuff that it's like, yeah, I don't know. I remember being a kid and we barely had any miniatures, so we had to reuse the same miniatures for all these different, jobs. And some of the miniatures started to get like names because they were so good at whatever character they controlled. That character became like more powerful because you believe in that kind of stuff when you play too much D&D. So nowadays you just 3D print out literally any miniature you want. It's crazy. So
Guys, I just
and
woke
this
up and I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
yeah, I'm just rambling, trying to trying to wake up, trying to rev up the old man engine. But yeah, start streaming this thing so we can go ahead and get started.
It's already going, homie.
Oh, is it? Then I really wish I hadn't been rambling this whole time. So, all right, cool. Let me host you, and then get started. Yeah, so I haven't gotten last week edited or anything. I guess I should have found somebody that was willing to stream for you, because like I streamed, but my stream is like full of spoilers and stuff. So I was either going to do like an overlay on it to like hide content that I didn't want anybody to see, or just upload it as a podcast or something. I don't know, for completeness sake. But let's see. All right, cool. Yeah, it's time to start. We're still missing some people. Oh, there they are. They came in at the same exact time. So, we already have a recap of last week. Last week was pretty hairy. I'll be honest. So I'm gonna recap it. I'll still grant Locke his DM inspiration because I feel chronicling your adventures is important, and I appreciate the recap. But yeah, I'll let you know from my perspective. I ran I ran that same fight 2 times last Sunday. Once for you guys and once for the evening group, and literally night and day. It was crazy. So wow, yeah. Now the night group had retreated and like done a level up in the woods, and then they went down at level 2. So obviously it's going to be infinitely easier at that point. But they did a lot of things differently. The dice were so kind to them. Just it was incredible. Yeah, just yeah, they clean swept the whole fight. It was crazy. Um, I think 2 people dropped from magic missiles, but that was it. They didn't die though; they just dropped and then got picked back up. But let me try to sum it up as best I can what happened last time. Kind of going off of Locke's recap here. You guys discovered the secret passage. Jenna convinced you guys to go down into the secret passage. Reluctantly, Vesh abandoned his quarry of the escaping smugglers and agreed. Everyone else kind of agreed. You headed down. Good senses. You caught that green slime before it was a problem. Minor setback on Vesh, but would ultimately spell his downfall. Just a little bit of damage you took from the slime. As you began exploring the sea caves, an extended shootout began, as can happen in piratey type games. The God, it was like the second shot that was taken by the bad guys. Nat 20 dropped your frontline tank. things just kind of spiraled out of control from there. Fortunately, there was Garuda. And perhaps because Garuda's player wasn't there to see the spectacle, and the recording will likely be lost to time. Garuda had the best session any character's probably ever had in a really long fucking time. I'm talking critical hits and one shot kills every round. He came back from dying with two nat 20 death saving throws, and then immediately used those to either fight and kill or resuscitate fallen allies. It was a bananas. It
And
was
don't forget
absolutely
the nat one that he got immediately after his first nat 20 death save.
oh
He nat
yeah.
one and then knocked himself out again.
I was not on your guys' side of quote unquote the screen, which I guess kind of makes sense because Roll20 is on a computer, the screens, but you know, we're referencing the prehistoric concept of Dungeon Master screen here. I had terrible anxiety from that whole session. I could definitely understand the frustration and the just all the feels that popped up last week. That is behind you. Level 1 is behind you. All right. You burn down the fucking house to the best of your ability, and you have turned over any evidence that you found to Parsons and the Zhentarum, and you are having a sit down to discuss. And assuming you are alive at the end of the discussion, you will have the day ahead of you to explore Saltmarsh, to catch your breath, and to figure out your next move. So this campaign is not super railroad. There are events that will transpire. You can or cannot participate in them based on the decisions that you make, et cetera, et cetera. But there's plenty to do. It is not a jumbo sandbox, so while it is sandbox, ultimately you will feel drawn back to this general region of the world, sort of thing. So yeah, all right. I just want to say that you lived through last week, and I didn't think you would, honestly. I ran the encounter like I was told via the adventure I should run it, and it was a doozy. I spoke with other GMs who have run or who are running Saltmarsh, and they said that those sea caves p nasty. House that crawls, just in general, pretty damn nasty for a first level dungeon. But again, it's over. It's over. So I'm gonna move you guys over to the Thieves Guild, and we can maybe get started on this. Let's see. I got looks like two Jennas here. Oh, I got a lot of everybody. All right, let me delete the extras. There you go. A little time distortion, and then I'll put you guys in the room. You don't really need to worry so much about moving around because this is all theater of the mind right now. I just like to put, if a map looks nice and kind of sums up the scene, I like to throw it up as like a backdrop. But like the placement of your minis and stuff like that is less important right now because you know we are simply having a little bit of RP, a little bit of RP. All right. So let me put on some different music here, and then we can kind of dig into this RP. We did a little bit in chat where everybody kind of voiced their opinions and stuff like that. Kind of delivered some information, which was good. So we'll kind of see from there what we decide to do. Let's see. Oh my gosh, sorry if you hear weird howling in the background. I am by myself, and the puppy is terrorizing the other two dogs, and yeah, but I can't let her in here because then the other two dogs will be jealous that she's in here and they're not, and it's a whole thing. So apologies in advance, sort of thing. Anyways, let me throw on some music here. What would be good? Hmm, mhm. Let's see. It's a little loud, but maybe it'll work. All right. All right. So down below, well, you're assuming it's below because caves and shit and a lot of stairs. You are in the Zhentarum's hideout, which by now you've identified the Zhentarum banner. Here you go. And you are speaking with Parsons the Goblet Perry. Um, and you have delivered to him some pretty important information, including the fact that the smugglers were thinking about branching out into slavery. They had weird weapons, all that craziness. So he has asked you to sort of hand over to him the papers that you found, the notes, that sort of thing. Is anyone willing to hand over one of those small metal wands, aka firearms, that you discovered?
Did we only pick up one of them? I think so. Yeah, might as well.
I think we picked up multiple.
Maybe.
God, I hope we picked up multiple.
I only
Alright.
remember us picking up one.
I'll
Now
check
there
the
were
party
there were a
inventory.
lot of bodies down there
We
that
looted all the bodies.
you guys moved into the thing, and I did believe that I hit the loot button several times
Yeah.
for pirates, so I'm assuming somebody picked it up. Yeah, up here it says the pirate was wearing over and over again. The scout was wearing. So I think you got at least 3 pistols with ammo. Though it would probably behoove you guys to elect some sort of treasurer or someone to keep track of this stuff.
I thought Locke was doing it.
Yeah, I have everything but the
Okay.
pistols because the pistols did show up on the description.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
they
did?
did.
Did they? Okay,
Pyre
that's
was
the only thing I
wearing
missed.
leather armor,
Yeah.
carried a cutlass, a dagger, and an asp pistol.
Yeah, I got the earrings and all that stuff.
Yeah, the asp is the pistol.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's clear.
Alrighty.
I mean, I have
s-
one, but I'm keeping that
Yeah,
one.
and then you took one from the initial guy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Alrighty. So Parsons kind of listens to all the words that you have to say, and things kind of left off with Naxos waving his hands around dismissively and kind of calling out, like, you know, what's next, kind of deal. So Parsons kind of eyeballs Naxos, drinking so heavily, Kettle calling the pot black situation, I guess, this early in the day. With sort of a raised eyebrow and like a bit of a dismissive exhalation of breath through his nose. And then he just kind of eyes all of you. Vesh sort of like pacing near the doors, definitely, you know, wanting to be anywhere but here, sort of thing. And he looks you all over and he basically says, I understand that you've been through a lot. As I said, my condolences for your lost ally. Here's the thing. You were facing executions or a long stay in a dark hole of Waterdeep prison, and your odds of survival were even lower there than they were in the house that crawls. The important thing is, Lady Tymora saw fit that you return to me with this information, and you have. You did a great job, and I and our organization appreciates that. So, I would ask that you simply trust us enough to let us figure out what exactly was going on there. We'll go over these notes, we'll go over the evidence that you've handed over, these firearms as they were. We will cut you loose in the town of Saltmarsh. And honestly, if anyone asks, anyone of a guard type persuasion kind of makes you feel uncomfortable or something like that, don't worry. Tell him that the goblet has given you a day pass, and it should be all right. Beyond that, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the report from Locke, and I'm impressed from the demeanor and the way you carry yourselves, and the confidence that just overflows your cups. I'd very much like to offer you a job, but I understand if it isn't something that fits each of your needs. I am prepared to answer any questions you might have about our operation that wouldn't put your lives in danger for knowing too much. If you maybe have the wrong idea about us. And he kind of eyes Veshkadel as he says that. So please, the table is open for discussions. Before you're set loose on the town of Saltmarsh, I want to lay to rest any um, wrong ideas you might have about us.
So Vesh takes a deep breath, and he tries to put on his most reasonable tone, which isn't that reasonable really. But he's just like, so your initial words to us, you hired us,
Mm-hmm.
in your words, to wipe them out, to kill them all.
Mm-hmm.
If you had given us this information of what you suspected beforehand, it may not have driven me to such anger. All I ask is if we are to work together ever again, just be upfront. Don't hide anything, don't hide your motives. Because I do not like being ordered around by those who will not show me their hand.
Mm. Veshkadel, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. We are in the secrets game. So base habits tend to overrule much of our behavior. I understand, though, that you are an upfront sort of gentleman, and I'll keep that in mind in future dealings. The people that you wiped out are demonologists, slavers, and generally some pretty bad people. We need to figure out why they've come to the region and what their end game is. Um, you've your work has sped that process along quite a bit. I don't suppose you found our dead agents or missing agents or captured agents while you were there? We did send a team before we sent you.
We did not see a thing. Naxos
Well,
came up with a interesting theory.
there was also that corpse, which could have been an agent, the one that maggots sprung out of.
Who could have? But Lord knows how long that had been down there.
Were any of your agents wielding a shield with fish on it?
Ah, mm, actually, uh, yes. Hold on, guys. There's this like loading symbol just popped up because I have to check my notes on the names of these peeps real quick. So, let's see. So many different documents. Yeah, Baker Vance. They're I wouldn't want to call them a double agent, but they moonlight as a town guard. Um, Likely they wore their guard uniform to maybe give them a little more of an edge in any negotiations they might have run into?
Well, he was most definitely dead. Some nasty maggot creatures burst out of his corpse and tried to kill us. Very nearly
No.
succeeded in killing Afra.
You see him roll some dice. He says, "Ah, rot grubs. Yeah, a very unfortunate and common vermin in this area. Easy to get rid of corpses, though. Though there's no shortage of places to get rid of corpses when you live on a rocky coastline next to a huge marshland. Not that that's our primary goal or anything. So I would take it then if you found Baker, it's very likely that the others met a similar fate. It's a shame. They were good. They're real good. They're definitely hiring now. Uh, Listen. You look around, you see an underground lair. You see us dealing in secrets. We all are dressed in dark leather. You get some ideas.
Talking about disposing corpses.
Right, right. You need to understand that there is a light to our darkness. You understand? Like Saltmarsh is a delicate community. It's never really had um, a strong central government. It's always been a free port, and oftentimes a free port or any city without strong central rulership can tear itself apart very easily or become rotten from the inside. The Zhentarum took an interest in Saltmarsh long ago and has cared for it from the shadows ever since. Uh, we work hand in hand with the council that runs the city, the town, and the we do the dirty work that needs to be done to make sure that everything runs smoothly. We keep out the tyrants, the despots, those who would abuse the citizens of Saltmarsh or bend them to their will. We chase away pirate lords. We keep away the creatures of the deep. And he looks over at Naxos. And the ones that we can't keep away, we befriend. We are caretakers. Admittedly, caretakers who work from the shadows.
And what is your ultimate goal? Is
Oof.
it simply profit?
Well, look at me. I'm old. I think I've done better than most on the Sword Coast, in so much as I've lived this long. If I had any goals, it would be to die knowing that the town that I love is left in good hands and is safe. I guess that would be my goal. The goal of the Zhentarum as a whole is a mystery, even to the different branches of, well, I guess heads. If we were a large multi-headed serpent, a hydra, if you were. The main goal remains a mystery, but ultimately the goal is always to grow, to prosper, and to gain knowledge, and through that knowledge, power.
When he says that, Jenna's eyes kind of like light up. You speak of power. Do you have wizards in your association? Do you how do you guys take
Certainly.
to magic?
We have quite a few spell sneaks. There is a wizard of which of great power and repute who is, let's just say, a friend of the organization. I could reveal more on this, but that's sort of privileged member information. But he has been known. Oof, did I say he? Perhaps I've said too much. He has been known to assist our up and coming spellcasters uh, with an assortment of arcane and alchemical needs. Now, again, I could talk to you all morning about the benefits of our organization, but I think perhaps if you went out into the city of Saltmarsh and you looked and experienced it for yourselves, you might have a better idea of what it is that we're working so hard to protect.
Afra will say, I think all of that is fair. I think, with a significant glance at Vesh, we just want to make sure that you understand that we are not petty thieves, we're not thugs, we are quite a talented group of individuals to have all ended up together on a prison ship bound for Waterdeep. And we just want to make sure that our skills are used appropriately.
Yes,
Okay.
many of these individuals nearly died performing this mission that I don't quite believe a new party would be ready for. To obtain us would be quite a feat, and one that comes with quite a price.
Okay. He kind of like smirks into his cup at some of your words, and then he says, "I believe it was Afra. What would be worthy of your talents? Give me an example."
Well, we are, I'm gonna look around at everybody, and say, we have interests in gaining power. We have interests in finding treasure, and we have interests in the good parts of life. So, by all means, use us for your more complicated tasks.
Oh, my more complicated tasks. I see. Because your first three items you just described literally every mercenary band on the Sword Coast. But now that I know that you can handle the more complicated matters, that's certainly something I'll keep in mind.
I just want you to keep in mind that I did not commit a crime that I think worthy of being put on that prison ship in the first place. I do not want to end up in every wanted poster on the entirety of the Sword Coast doing work for you.
Look, again, Veshkadel, you are not a slave. You have fulfilled any sense of obligation, I hope, that you might have had for your rescue. I just know that a individual of your talents could be quite useful to us. Don't let the messiness of religion, and he kind of looks at Vesh and Naxos, get in the way of opportunity. And he kind of motions at Locke. We, as I've said, operate from the shadows, but ultimately it is for the greater good.
Vesh.
And the way he says that makes you feel like you should roll an insight check, but it also makes you feel like if you roll an insight check, you're gonna cop to being a bitch. So you're not really sure if you want, you know what I'm saying? Like he's daring you to roll an insight check on that one.
Vesh. The organization may be able to help you clear your name back home.
I'll throw
Well,
one too, 'cause I'm
it
nosy.
seems like they have the guard here at least in Saltmarsh in their pocket. But the main thing I'm looking for is for freedom. And he seems honest. He seems to be saying that there's no leash around our neck. We can do what we wish to do. We can accept jobs or not. That is enough freedom for me at the moment.
All right. Well, I'll have someone escort you up top. Your timing is fortuitous. There is a festival in town. Might be a nice way to unwind. All right. So, unless there's any further questions, luck of the draw will escort you to the surface. You'll probably come out, take him to the bridge. And luck of the draw says, yes, the bridge is nice this time of year. Lots of blossoms. There you go. Lots of blossoms. All right, then. He moves his chair back as if to stand. Does anyone have anything else for him?
Yes, is the festival the only thing we should keep an eye out for town? Is there anything you would suggest we look into?
Oh, I think I've ordered you about enough. I'm curious to see what you do with the freedom that you crave so much. All right. And he
let's not tarry in this underground pit for much longer.
So he walks from the room.
So did you guys get your payment for your mission?
Pretty sure he gave us that to us as soon as we walked in the door, didn't he?
Yeah. You guys were paid, as sort of come sit down. Here's your money kind of thing.
Oh, how much did we make each?
We were keeping 40% for the party fund, weren't we? So how much was it in total?
Are you asking me, or are you asking the treasurer?
Oh, it was 10,000 gold, right?
It was certainly not 10,000 gold. I believe they gave you 300 gold for successfully doing this and handing over the stuff that you guys found.
So that'd make 120 for the party fund, and then between 6 of us, that leaves 30 gold each.
30 each.
Alright, well, let's go up to Saltmarsh then. Spend our hard-earned gold. I imagine Naxos is going to come back empty-handed again, isn't he?
He already has a destination he has to go visit. So.
All right. So luck of the draw is like if a cat was dropped in an oil slick. He is a very slimy boy. Like he could just have very oily fur, but there's a sheen to him. And he's just very creepy in general. But he just kind of worms his way into your group huddle and just says, You're gonna love the town. It's just like a rotten sardine.
It sounds unpleasant, but still pleasant.
Your thing to say.
Alrighty. So he leads you through some tunnels. At one point, however, he does throw down a cloud of darkness and have you guys all hold hands. And then proceeds to lead you sort of the rest of the way through the tunnels. Anybody with devil sight, you can see through the darkness. Otherwise, this is just a precautionary method or measure on their part to keep their tunnel system and entrances to their guild and all that a secret. And it's also less rude than asking you guys to blindfold yourselves. So,
would Locke know what exit we're going at?
Yeah, you guys are going to be going out the bridge exit, which would be the Sharkfin Bridge. So, but for these purposes, rather than put you on, unless you're going to fight on the Sharkfin Bridge, I'm not going to load that map. I'm just going to load the start page. And wait, no, not the start page. We need the actual town of Saltmarsh. Where are you at, Saltmarsh? Let's see. No, you know what? The Saltmarsh. I moved all the maps onto your start page. There we go. I was like, do I have a separate map? No. So it's everybody's on the same page now. So Saltmarsh map is over here. Okay. Alrighty. So the map is correct. So the top of the map is north, and the bottom of the map is south. Very happy about that situation. So yeah, when you guys come up, you'll be coming up right here, which is location 10. Do you guys want me to reveal like numbers on the map as we go? Would that make things easier?
It would make things a lot easier for
All right, cool.
notes
Yeah.
and stuff.
All right. We have the technology. We might as well use it. All right. So Sharkfin Bridge. Now, I will tell you guys this. Locke is still with you when the darkness spell fades and you guys find yourselves at a spiraling stair that is very damp and a lot of fungus and lichen and stuff is growing on the stairs and around it. It almost looks like a little fungal garden down here. And you see just the eyes and mouth of this tabaxi kind of grinning at you from the shadows, Cheshire Cat style. And he says, just right up those stairs and the sun awaits you.
I could certainly use it. It might wash off the the blood stains.
Locke just starts walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys come
Use
out
his hand.
onto Sharkfin Bridge, which is pretty dope. It is a naturally occurring bridge, land bridge, that has been reinforced with dwarven stonework. But it's still in a very uncharacteristic dwarf move. They incorporated all of the natural plants that were there, and the bridge actually has many gardens growing along it and hanging mosses and things like that. It is quite beautiful. None of you are elven or of elven descent, right?
Nope, don't think so.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Because it is said that those of a Fey bloodline or Fey themselves do feel vaguely nauseated whenever they use this bridge. So, just an interesting little tidbit, I guess. So, yeah, but the bridge is tall enough that ships can kind of sail beneath it, and you know, not the biggest ships in the world, but you know, smaller ships as they make their way inland towards along the Kingfisher River. But yeah, it sort of separates the harbor, like the inner harbor, from the inland river, the Kingfisher River. So. From here, you can go to the southern part of town or the northern part of town. The festival is being held right about here. If you guys wanted to check that out, but if you want to check out other stuff, you certainly can do that as well.
Did you ping the map?
Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah.
No, that was me. I didn't see where he pinged.
Hold on. Let's see. I'll just put a tent up there so you can tell where it is. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so over here, that's where the festival is currently going on, where that little purple tent is.
So I actually need to get a hold of some charcoal and incense to get Wally back.
Yeah, and I could use a new sword. I'm gonna ask Locke, where's the shopping district, I suppose?
It's over that way.
All right,
gonna-
so you guys gonna
Oh.
head towards the shopping district then?
I'm gonna look at Jenna and say, shall we?
Yes, sounds good.
And Naxos, he's a running errand, so he's gonna dip off for a little bit.
All right. So Naxos excuses himself from the group, or not, and kind of dips in a different direction. All right, so lots to do in this here town. Lots to do. Let's see. You are hoping for magical goods. Is that my understanding? Because your best bet, Locke, you're thinking just to take them to the marketplace, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I know
Afra
she was
wants
looking for
rapier.
a weapon, a sword, rapier. So I would take her
Okay.
in town to wherever I
Oh,
thought the best.
okay.
spot
So
would
the
be.
best, the absolute best smith in town is the Dwarven Anvil. So you could go there, I guess.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could go there first.
We can go there and then hit the market afterwards.
Okay.
Oh,
It would
Yeah,
be good
like so
to
you
know
kind
how
of
much
walk
money I've left.
through the market to get to the Dwarven Anvil. I will mark it on your map though. It is location 17.
I'm
There we go.
following him to the market.
Okay. So are you going to branch off of the market, or are you also going to go to the Dwarven Anvil to find out what's going on there?
Well, just follow Afra and Jenna.
Okay.
Yeah, Vesh will just follow the group. He's kind of a bit wary of being out in public at the moment. He wants to keep an eye out and see if anyone seems to like recognise, or if anyone's kind of pointing and whispering, or if any of the guards are taking interest in him.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely kind of keep an eye out for guards, which is not a bad idea. So this is what a Saltmarsh guard generally looks like. So you kind of keep an eye out for them. They do also have the shield, not in the picture obviously, with the symbols of the little fish. Yeah, the crappy little fish. Yeah. And I guess, Locke, you could tell them the laws of the city while you guys are walking around. Do you want to do that, or you want to leave them hanging in the dark?
I would just point out anything that I saw they were doing that might get them in trouble, and just leave
Okay.
them.
I mean, as a free port, it's pretty lax. Like they have guards and that sort of thing, but yeah, you know what? I'll just throw up the local law enforcement stuff so that you guys have you have a better idea, and essentially you can kind of point out to them as they go, but this way the information's just out front. So there you go. All right. So basically, in Saltmarsh, if you're rich enough and you're connected enough, you could probably get away with anything. So, all right. As you head over to the Dwarven Anvil, the sounds of medieval fantasy blacksmithing obviously greet your ears before you arrive, and you see that working the forge are two dark-skinned humans, likely of Cholton descent. And the place is very confusing because it looks like a dwarven building. It's called the Dwarven Anvil. There's a small shrine to Moradin under the eaves of the building, somewhat neglected. But you just see these two humans here, and the older female human, she kind of stops her work and says something in the language of Chult to the other worker, who seems much younger than her, and he nods and kind of picks up where she left off. leaves off, and she kind of approaches you and says, "Ah, good day to you. What brings you to the Dwarven Anvil?"
Vampire.
Hmm. Arms, of course. And then I'm going to make a significant glance at the sign, and then an up and down glance of her.
Ah, yes. Uh, well, people tend to have preconceived ideas. So, you know, perhaps the name draws in the business, but it is the goods themselves that keep us in business. So,
Ha! Oh, I like it. I
that
like
and
it.
we do all of our work on the dwarven anvil using dwarven tools. I am skilled in the dwarven way of crafting.
How'd you pick that up? They're not super friendly about sharing their things.
She gets a big smile on her face and she says, "People are often more friendly the more friendly you are."
Ah. All right. Well, I was recently in an altercation, and my rapier just snapped in half. I am hoping to find something of better quality.
Ah, you seek something of master crafted status, or do you simply seek a replacement that is not made by fools?
A replacement not made by fools will be sufficient. Though, if you want to try to talk me into something better, you're welcome to try.
Hmm. I do have a number of enchanted blades, but fair warning, the pricing for those begins in the thousands.
Eh. Well, perhaps once I have made a bit more of a mark in this town, we can
Mhm.
talk about that a little more.
She kind of eyes you up, and the eyeing up process is not. It's not just a professional kind of way. She's definitely cougar eyeing you up a little bit.
Hmm.
As humans go, she seems to be in her 40s. But she kind of almost kind of purrs a little bit under her breath and says, "I see someone as light as you. I could understand needing a light weapon.
Hmm.
Uh, are you familiar with the saber?"
I can't say I've come across that before, but I am interested.
It is a similar blade to the rapier, but instead of incessant insect-like pokes, it is a true blade. It cuts, it slashes, it dices.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I learned the making of this weapon when I lived among the elves.
And the elves are known for their quality designs. Let's have a look, shall we?
All right, so she shows you a number of sabers, which mechanically are exactly the same, I believe, as let's check. As a cutlass, yeah, except they are a finesse weapon. What it means is they don't do a lot of damage. They're in the same ballpark as like a scimitar, but they do have the defensive property, which is unique to this campaign. And what defensive allows you to do is, if you use your reaction, you can raise your AC by 1 against an incoming attack. So just a single attack, and you only raise your armor class by 1. So it's extremely situational. But I mean, I've seen it in Skull and Shackles. I've seen it save a couple of lives. So,
Okay, okay.
but you do give up that extra damage that you could get from a rapier, because apparently Mike Merles really likes rapiers. So. But yeah, she does show you that, and they are definitely an elegant looking weapon. And she has a number of different designs, and she explained that the defensive property is kind of tied up in the curvature of the blade and the hilt, which allows you to sort of direct attacks away from yourself.
Hmm. Okay. Very well. And how much would you like for one of these weapons?
It is only 25 gold.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Would you take 15?
Ooh. You see her face sours immediately.
No.
And she says, "There are plenty of places to buy weapons in the city. Perhaps you should look elsewhere."
No, wait. I had a feeling like we were friends here. And I understand that we all need to make a living, and I believe that you understand the same. I'm just looking to come to an arrangement here.
I see. I can charge you my standard rates and also provide to you some free advice from one accomplished woman to another. You should never, ever devalue yourself. Always stand by what you think you are worth, and by association, what you think your work is worth.
Touche. 25 gold it is.
All right. She gladly takes it, and she includes for you a repair kit, as it were. Basically, just some clean rags, some blade oil, that kind of stuff, and a scabbard.
Okay. And before I go, I would like to ask, are you experienced with, is this a weapon I can use a second weapon with? Perhaps could I have a short sword in the other hand, or do you think that would be a bit
No,
too
that
clumsy?
that should be fine.
Okay. Very well. I would be happy to practice this, and if I have friends in need of weaponry, I'll send them your way.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else need anything from Dwarven Anvil, who does weapons and armor?
Mefera, do you know where we could get some components like some charcoal and other stuff? Who would have the best price in town on that?
Ah, I see.
Reagents. Spells.
Let me see. And let's see. Oof, reagents. All right. Oh, food market's probably out. Weekly market. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to give you guys what a local would recommend. She kind of bites her lip a little bit, and she looks off towards the south a little bit, and she says, "Locke, as you know, Keledek has made it very difficult to acquire arcane components without him receiving what he believes is his due. That being said, you could certainly try the free market, see if anyone has been brave enough to try and sell components under the guise of something else."
Can I ask about this individual? You say he has his own cut for each arcane component?
Keledek is an ancient wizard who has been a part of this town for a very long time. He came here years ago from Kalasham and set up shop. He has been very beneficial to the town, but he has, in a way, set himself up as the minister of magic, I guess you could say. He likes to inspect spell components for what he claims to be, and she air quotes, authenticity before they are allowed to market.
Seems like he's running quite the business here. Thank you.
I, even for my forged salts and other enchanting components, do have to pay my dues to him as well. He is very well connected and quite powerful.
Thank you. As we walk away, Jenna's gonna go up to Locke and be like, "Is he the wizard the goblet spoke of?"
I mean, if Locke knew, he would just nod his head.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Locke, that is the one affiliated with.
So yeah, I just subtly nod my head.
And Jenna just nods her head back. This sword looks quite nice, Afra.
I give it a
Hopefully
few
I'll-
experimental slashes.
Oh yeah, it is. It's incredible. It seems to blend the best of dwarven and elven craftsmanship with the ingenuity of human craftsmanship.
Hopefully that one holds up a lot better than your last one.
Agreed.
Definitely makes you look a little more deadly.
I will strike a pose. Let my my new pirate coat, you know, fling about, sway about with my saber.
Alrighty, yeah,
This
it's
is
a
why I
good
have
it's
no
a good weapon.
patience with long blades. They snap and they're so frail. The only part of an axe that will break is the handle, and it's easy to create another.
All right, where you guys heading now? Free market?
Yeah.
Okay. So the free market. Oh man. Yeah, the free market is built around. I don't know how tour guide Locke is being for you guys, but it's built around the first well that was dug for fishers in the town's early days. It is a large market square that also hugs a good portion of docks as well. Initially, it was established to sell fish, but it includes a variety of goods. Generally, you can find anything that would be in the player's handbook as long as it does not cost more than 150 gold, available for purchase here at the standard price. So this is sort of their general store, is the weekly market, the free market.
Yeah, I'm just go around until I can find incense and charcoal.
Yeah. So you basically purchase your spell components not so much from a magic shop, but as if you were grocery shopping and just happen to need these strange things. Yeah. Which aren't really that strange, purchased individually.
Yeah, and I'm gonna buy 3 30 GP worth instead of just 10, so I can summon him back if he dies again or disappears again.
Okay, so at the very heady shop, where there's like incense burning everywhere and all sorts of other herbal remedies, the kind of sleepy-eyed woman running the shop says, "My, that's a lot of incense you're buying. What's the occasion?"
Just a erotic night, you know? It's gonna be quite a magical time.
Ah, if you're looking for something more romantic, I do have other scents that could bring out more passion into what you're doing.
We're just going with the standard scent for now. Just nothing like good old traditional incense, you know?
She kind of frowns a bit. Go ahead and give me a deception check.
Okay. A 6.
Okay. She kind of has a look on her face like, "I'll take note of this," kind of thing.
Locke just kind of walks up to her and subtly hands her a gold coin.
All right. She looks at you.
And then I just step back. Yeah.
And she, you can see that she has taken note of that as well.
Can I just see if I notice Lockhand the gold coin?
Yeah, sure. Locke, you want to slay to hand that thing, or I'm assuming you're a little sly about it, right? All right.
Oh yeah.
Or at least attempting to be sly about
it. Can I put guidance on myself?
Sure, yeah. Give yourself a little pat on the shell before you... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jenna, you don't notice this transaction. Yeah. All right. Anybody need anything else from the weekly market while they're there?
I bought some Smith's tools there.
Okay.
Just put it in there. He would have just basically gone up, picked it off like a rack or wherever it would have been, and put it down on the counter, and just done a completely silent exchange, just glaring at whoever sold it to him. That's
Yeah.
The strangers.
Yeah, the very short, but not dwarf or gnome human man who is selling you the tools. He seems quietly relieved that this is the first exotic customer he's had in years that just bought shit and left. Like, they didn't ask him for quests. They didn't try to haggle. They didn't try to they didn't threaten his life. They didn't try to haggle him down to nothing. They just looked at the price, took it, gave him the money, and left. You see just one tear down his old man face as he watches you leave. And the next thing you know, there's a picture of you in his shop that says Customer of the Year. Because it is that stressful being an NPC merchant in Dungeons & Dragons. So, way to go.
It's good food for the year.
Locke, is there like a library in town?
Oh, there is a library in town, Locke. There is.
Yeah, it's over that way.
The library is Eleander's library, which is let's see, where's Eleander's library at? Okay, that would be at Eleander's house. Good stuff. Eleander is man, where do we even talk? How do we even describe Eleander? Let's see. I don't want to say that he's a do-gooder by any stretch of the imagination, but Eleander Fireborn is a retired adventurer. He is the captain of the guard, and basically he is the Captain America of Saltmarsh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He must have an ass for days then.
He does. He does. They call it Saltmarsh's ass, actually.
The ass of Saltmarsh.
Yes. He is. It's good stuff. He is getting pretty old though. He is getting up there in years. So if you're looking for like a rich, successful daddy figure, he's definitely your boy. It is said that he is a powerful Eldritch Knight, whatever that is. So. But yeah, Locke, do you want me to add that to the map then? His manor?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, he has a waterfront property, isolated by itself. Dude is very well off, as many adventurers who are smart enough to get out when the getting's good kind of are. So he is location 4 on your map, and this is what the guy looks like if you were to see him out on the streets. So.
Looks so much better than Jericho or Charles.
All right.
Anyways, town guard. I would still like some books. I'm a student foremost.
Now, if you are looking for arcane books, Kelidek obviously would have probably an even better library of tomes, and that is the shady Wizrobe that you keep hearing about. And he is located in a Wizrobe tower that is... It said that he built the tower with magic, no less. and that's located at location 6. So you're kind of getting the feel that the richer people live on the southern side of the harbor.
I think I would like to meet them both, though I'm not sure if I should meet Killadek before or after our allegiances are laid. Um, if he is the man, I think he is. I would like to check out the library, though. If you guys don't mind a walk around town.
Yeah, I could.
We should see the sights
I'd
while we're here.
yeah, and I would enjoy engaging what's the face in conversation while you look around, see if there's anything that might prove useful to us.
Yes.
His name's Aleander.
Eleander. Real bad for names, guys.
Locke, is he suspicious of the snake or the sense, or should we have nothing? Does he know of your affiliation, or do we have nothing to worry about?
Locke, that is, I don't know. Do you want me to feed you this information via whispers, or do you mind if I just throw out what you do and don't know?
I am fine if it's just general information.
Yeah, you are not high enough ranking, even at the mighty level 2, to know all of the connections throughout town. So you do not know where the captain of the town guard, Eleander Fireborn, aka Captain Saltmarsh, you do not know where his feels lie regarding you guys.
Not sure.
Well, I guess we'll go under the guise of innocence. That may
As
be
we walk around, can I like try to look for any signs of the Zhentarum in the crowd or like in the town itself? See like if I can get a feel for any of their activity, like if I see any other members that I've met before running through the town.
Okay, members of the Zhentarum, or
Yeah.
just okay, yeah, yeah, like you're pretty sure that for a little while at least, Luck of the Draw was following you guys, via rooftop.
Huh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not very easy for him to hide in so much as it is, daytime. Like it's a beautiful spring day, the sun's shining, there's a few clouds in the sky, nice weather. So yeah. But eventually, as you guys arrive at the marketplace, he kind of goes his own way. But as far as faces that you saw down below up top, yeah, I'll make sure I let you know if you see anybody. Anybody
Thanks.
else?
Vesh is quite interested to meet the captain of the guard as well.
Are there any
Okay.
lizard folk walking around town?
Yeah, so interesting thing with lizard folk. If this was like old-timey like America, like we're settling America kind of thing, the lizard folk are very much like the Native American situation. So they were here first, and they live all throughout the salt marshes, the high moors. Yeah, there is a tribe of lizard folk that live nearby, and despite the humans kind of encroaching upon their lands, for the most part, humans don't want to live in a swamp. So they're like swamp adjacent. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really come into conflict with each other very often. And Saltmarsh is trying to be a little more like accepting of non-humans and non-human adjacent races. So yeah, you do see a couple lizard folk, and when you do, it is almost always in groups of like 3, as if they're traveling for safety in a group. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I think it was great. I mean,
Okay.
Veshkadel might not get it because he's British, but
Yeah.
What
So,
can you do?
the pre-evolution of the
I
American
obviously didn't
Pokemon.
actually get it.
All right, so you guys are gonna head to Eleander Fireborn's estate, I guess. Is that what it sounds like you're doing?
Yeah, go into the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the way, you'll bump back into Naxos, who's
Okay,
kinda
yeah. So I would
wandering
assume
around.
maybe on the bridge would be a good place for you guys to run back into each other.
Yeah, like I was heading
Uh,
towards town to
yeah. Yeah,
try
so
to find him.
Naxos is heading north on the bridge. You guys are heading south on the bridge, and you guys meet back up. Naxos, they inform you that they're going to the home of Eleander Fireborn, who is the captain of the guards. That's one of the first places I would go if I had escaped from a prison ship. So I'm definitely I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah,
So,
why are we going there? Why are we going there to begin with?
all
Does
right.
Jenna
Naxos
wants
look
to
at?
use this library, and I'm quite curious to meet the one who allows the Zhentarum to run its town.
Does
All right.
Naxos look any different?
He has a distinct hickey on his neck and looks a
Okay.
bit drunker than he was the last time you saw him.
How does a hickey look on blue skin?
Purple.
Purple, yeah.
You don't hang out with enough cosplayers, man.
I can take some powder and cover that up for you if you. Oh, it's a skin tone, normal skin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Very good for
Right.
you.
Not my
Do you
shade.
guys how do you guys want to proceed? Do you want to walk along the water to get there, or do you want to walk inland to get there?
Whichever way Locke takes us.
Okay, Locke, it is a longer route, but a more scenic route to go along the water.
I just take them the most direct route.
Okay. In that case, buildings you pass on the way there include, let's see, the barracks and the jail, which is location 2 on your map. Let me reveal that real quick. Off in the distance, you see the city gate, which is location 1 on your map. And you also pass the Wicker Goat, which is the oldest tavern in town, the Wicker Goat. And that is location 3 on your map, right across from the jail. So if you get rowdy, you don't have to be carried very far to get arrested.
Would it be safe to assume that's where Naxos went?
Now, the interesting thing, well, I mean, you could make an assumption, but a port city or a port town like this, I keep saying city, it's not, I would say it's not big enough to be a proper city, but it's big enough that it could be called a city. You know what I mean? Like, it's like halfway between a town and a city. It's trying its best to grow and sustain, but it's by no stretch of the imagination like an actual city. All right. But what I'm trying to say is, despite being a town, it supports a number of taverns because of the the ports and all the trade that comes
Sailors.
through. Exactly. There's a lot of transitional people in the city that are kind of coming and going. So there's more. You'd almost say that there's more people coming and going than there are like natives that live here. So that being said, the Wicker Goat, yeah, it's interesting. It's run by a retired military officer. It caters to the dwarven miners and the town guard. So if there was ever like a goody two shoes like tavern, this is definitely the one.
Gosh, no
And
offense. I think you ever been to a military bar. None of them would be
oh
a goody
well,
two shoe.
well, I mean, in comparison to some of the other taverns in town, this one has I guess you could say a more lawful, more goodly clientele is all I'm saying. But yeah, let's see. The
You're
description
more
of the
likely to
adventure.
get punched and stabbed.
Yeah,
basically.
the description says it has the dubious honor of being the oldest tavern in town. And if you've got drunken dwarves, drunken guards, and drunken military, it's obviously going to be just as rowdy as everywhere else. It's just that these people are going to be a little bit more honorable, is what I was trying to say.
Doesn't much seem like my kind of place.
It does have something pretty juicy out front, though. And I will move you guys over because I would assume that it would definitely catch your guys' eye, given that you are adventurers. So let me let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is.
It's gonna be a quest board, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a quest board. So you guys let me know how much time you want to look at that, and then I will send you back to the main map. Or if you want to keep looking at it, we can just sort of theater of the mind as you kind of continue to explore the map. Or I could put some people on the quest board and some people back on the map, because Roll20 lets you do that. So you just tell me.
Yeah, I like to stay on the quest board just to read over it. And...
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you continue your way through the town, and you eventually reach Eleander's house. It is tucked at the edge of the town, overlooking the sea. It is well removed from the hustle and bustle of Saltmarsh. As you arrive, you do see that he retains some personal guard, and the two personal guard look very, very bored, but very, very cheerful as they see you approach.
I'm gonna grab Jenna's arm and have a great big smile, like we are BFFs out for a day on the town.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jenna immediately is just gonna go along with it, like, oh, this must be that one guy's house. It looks so nice.
Yeah, it's so big. Why don't we, hey there, guards, hi.
Oh yeah, the guards. The guards kind of look left and right. There is a male and a female guard, and they both kind of look like, oh, okay, these ladies are talking to us. Okay, and they sort of straighten out their, their armor a bit, and these ones are not dressed like the normal city guard. They have more of a sort of relaxed look of just like casual, nondescript armor. They're definitely in a uniform, but the uniform is a combination of sort of reds and whites. So it is not more likely the house colors of their employer than the town itself, which kind of tips you off that they are private. Security, as it were. All right. Yeah. So they kind of come to attention a bit, and their eyes are definitely on you guys. They stand to either side of this big manor house entrance. There are lovely gardens and statuary that lead up to the house. There are like side buildings as well. Like there's a gazebo out in the garden, and then there's sort of a looks like a stable house where probably horses and a carriage are kept and whatnot. So this guy is definitely retired from adventuring, in money for sure. And so they say the guy kind of clears his throat and like holds up his hand to the female guard, who sort of smirks, and he kind of tucks a bit of his bangs back under his helmet where they're kind of peeking out, and he says, "Hail and well met. What brings you to the Fireborn estate at this fine hour of this fine day? I would assume lovely ladies such as yourselves will be taking in the festival or the, marketplace."
We plan on hitting the festival a bit later. Hopefully it's as great as everyone says. But we actually heard that there's like a library here, and I was just looking for some books.
And I'm gonna say, don't judge a book by its cover. Wink.
Oh, okay. As you say that, the female guard kind of cocks her eyebrow at you and gives you like a wink back. And the guard says, "Oh, well, you definitely come to the right place. The master, I shouldn't say that. Eleander, he maintains a phenomenal library. Fell in love with books during his adventuring days. Made it his personal hobby to collect as many unique tomes as he could as he traveled about."
Does he open the library up to others? How's he kind of work it here?
Oh, he certainly does. Friends of his, friends of the family, as it were, are often allowed to come and go. It's a little awkward, you see, because he's not here right now on account of the fact that he is at work. And well, the lady of the house, she is at the festival, so we're just sort of here, keeping keeping an eye on things, because that's our job as guards. That's what guards do. And you can see the female guard is just kind of shaking her head at him as he just kind of barrels on and on and on, just further
Super
and
flustered.
further. Yeah, super flustered.
Well, gosh, that is such a disappointment.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint you. If you really want to see the books that he has, and you're new here, I'm sure he'd love to meet a fellow bibli a bi and the female guard says bibliophile, person that's super into books. Is that what you're trying to say? And he snaps his fingers and he says, "Yes, just so. Um, yeah, he would be at Cool Watch Tower." And he kind of points, and from this vantage point on the cliff, you can see the whole fucking town from up here, actually. And it is location 12 on the map, which is you guys can't see because you're still looking at the quest board. But it is basically over by the festival, so past the prison and some farming areas. There is a 60-foot tall tower. It was the first defensive building ever built in Saltmarsh, and it serves as an armory and lookout and the official base of the town guard. And that is where Eleander could probably be found right now. So you see, he has a really good friend, that orc kid, and the female guard says half orc. Yeah. Half orc, whatever. The goth kid, Crag, that guy. Yeah, he comes in all the time. If I didn't know any better, I would say the kid's trying to become a necromancer. He loves that graveyard. But yeah, he comes and goes as he pleases because he and the boss are real close. So sort of like an adopted son, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird situation. But man, don't let his looks fool you. Guy looks like he bites your face off and then animates you as like a faceless zombie, but huge nerd, just the biggest nerd. And then the female guard says, "Oh, okay, so people that like books are nerds." And then the male guard's like, "No, that's
Jenna
not.
kind of starts frowning.
Oh man, jeez." Yeah. So he's just kind of fumbling his words at this point.
I'm gonna look over at Jenna. Like, what do you want to do?
I mean, it seems that we can't just go in without the I'm sorry, I forget his name. The Lord's permission. Perhaps we should go speak with him, or just continue to peruse. Maybe check out that festival.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I could always do with a drink. I'm gonna look to the guards and I'm gonna say, "Thank you," and glance significantly at the female guard for your
Okay.
assistance here today.
Yeah, she says, it's no problem. The name's Frona.
Frona, it's nice to meet you.
The other guy just got literally friend zoned right to his face.
I'll be at the Wicker Goat tonight if you need a local to show you the best drinks.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right. And you see the guy kind of look over at her like, you betrayed me. Like, that's kind of the look on his face. All right. So, what now, y'all?
As the rest of the party kind of walks away, Locke would walk up and palm a coin in each hand, just kind of shake the hands of first the male guard, and just say, "You guys don't make enough to put up with all this crap." And then I do the same thing with the girl. I just give her a coin, and then walk.
They kind of eyeball each other a little bit, and they shrug. So, I mean, they're private security. So
yeah.
You guys do see, as you're getting ready to leave, there are some other interesting things up here on the Rich Person Cliff, as it could be called. Rich Person Cliff.
On the map.
Well, the
too,
rich
that's
people.
fine.
All right, sure. If anybody still wants to be on the quest board, let me know, and I can move you over there specifically.
No, we've got it in the Discord if we need to see it, I think.
Oh, okay. Somebody screenshotted it. Smart.
Yeah.
Okay. So over here, you guys are on location 4. Across the way is a pretty grand looking building. This one is the Dwarven Mining Company. It is the Copper Locks Mining Company, I believe is the name. Let me see if I've got a handout for you. There we go.
Which number was that?
Number 5. So it's right across the way from the place you guys are currently at.
We could try.
And you also see a very ostentatious Wizrobe Tower, which is location 6.
Yeah, we could try the Wizard Tower, I suppose. I'm sure he has tons of stuff I would be interested in, though I'm not quite sure with my current funditure what I could afford.
Well, why don't we maybe try later then, and let's go check out the festival.
Yes, that seems fine. I would really like to take an hour to, if you guys don't mind, summon Wally.
I mean,
nice
Locke,
to
you
have
guys
a
could
bird's eye view.
swing in somewhere for lunch at this point. It is getting on in the day. It's about I'd say 11:30 at this point.
If you guys are hungry, we can go to one of the inns.
That could do. We could. Why don't we try out this goody tavern and see what the locals are up to.
They said there's a bunch of dwarves there. I'm just afraid they may be nosy.
The festival no doubt has food.
True. All right, you guys want to just head towards the festival then, and then while everybody's kind of exploring and eating, they give you a chance to summon your familiar again.
Yeah, I'd just kind of like find a corner where no one's at, and I'd pull out my brazier and my incense and charcoal and herbs and start cooking it up.
Yeah, you could also, I mean, you guys are quote unquote safe. You could, you kind of do that and then kind of catch up with everybody.
Yeah, that's fine as well.
Yeah. All right. So, as you head towards the festival grounds, you will pass location 12, which is the Hool Watch Tower. Did you want to swing by and see if Eleander was there, or do you just want to kind of check on that stuff later on?
Speaking to the guard captain at his home is one thing.
Yeah.
Barging into the guard's workplace is another.
Okay. So I guess you kind of withheld breath, like when you're driving, and you were driving a little too fast, but like not too fast, but you passed like a cop. Like you kind of get that feeling, like any second now I'm gonna get pulled over and they're gonna find like the dead hooker and 50 kilos of cocaine in the trunk. But you don't, you suddenly know that you're guilty of every crime and you have 5 GTA stars on the map kind of thing. Yeah, like that's the feeling you get sort of walking by the literal headquarters of all of the town guard as you make your way towards the festival as recently escaped convicts.
Act natural, guys. Act natural.
For RP reason, what is acting natural as you go past the guard headquarters?
Jenna is just like, she's like hand fanning her face because of the sun, and she every time she sees something that looks nice or whatever, she'll kind of point at it and she'll like motion everyone else like, look at the pretty river. And
okay,
that's
a little
acting
sightseeing
natural.
action. I got you. Okay.
Locke would be visible and wave to any of the guards that he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F was whistling.
Okay.
Gorilla's
Just
staring
wondering
right
what's
at the
all
guard tower,
crazy
just
about
like looking up and down.
If any of them are doing anything dodgy, he will. His expression will turn kind of dark.
Okay, you're making sure the guards aren't doing anything dodgy. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a job board outside the tower's entrance as well, but it's not as fancy as the job board that I already showed you. I guess let's see. This is fun. This one is randomly determined. Okay. Let's see. Oh man. Yeah. So there is a series of wanted posters up on the guard board, the guards quest board. Anybody want to go over and look at them? You just kind of get the general sense of a wanted poster as you look over.
I would be so interested.
Girl, walk
100%,
up.
yeah, need to go have a look at that just to make sure we're not on it for a
All
start.
right. As you approach, you see that these are bestial drawings, and you realize that they are looking for a trio of gnolls that are apparently operating outside of town in the marshes. They're using the marshes as their headquarters, and they have been preying on overland travelers. So gnoll bandits is what they're currently looking for.
Vesh points that out and he's like, let's do this.
It certainly couldn't hurt to make some friends in the guards. I'm not opposed.
Well,
yeah.
this
So
is the right
a dwarf, a male dwarf dressed in the Saltmarsh guard attire, kind of mops some sweat from his brow because for a spring day it's actually pretty balmy here at close to noon here. I think it's a whopping like 80 degrees, which is some kind of Celsius. I'm sorry, my conversion math is bad this morning. I was trying to think of what that would be.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I know Fahrenheit anyway.
Okay, sweet. I have a Canadian in one of my groups that refuses. He refuses to pretend that he knows what Fahrenheit is. Anyways, yeah, it's a balmy 80 degrees today with no clouds and a slight wind. So it's definitely a hot day, and he's kind of mopping in his brow and his big old nose, potato nose. He looks over and he says, I see that you taking a notice of them laughing bandits.
Is that what you're calling them?
I mean, it's a little on the nose, but yeah.
How come the guards haven't caught them?
Oh, well, you see, we're a little busy protecting the town itself. We don't have no rangers or nothing like that. So generally, outside the city walls, that's not our business. But inside, you'll never find a safer town.
Well, it might put people off visiting if they're going to get killed on the way.
Hence the reason we've posted these here ads.
I'm sure you think that's good enough. Oh well.
I mean, if you, he kind of bristles a little bit, and he's like, you're just as welcome as anyone else to go give it a shot there.
Do you guys not get spare time?
Be warned, these are no push me down, hit me with the rolled up parchment knolls, though. One of them, the female, she's the leader, is said to be a druidess of some power.
I'm gonna put my hand on Vesh's arm and give him a look and be like, what my friend means is that we're looking for some work potentially, and we'd be happy to assist the guard in this duty. We understand how underpaid and overworked you are, and
he kind of looks you guys over as he's saying this, and his eyes kind of light up, and he says, you're one of them dragonborn and fast-talking human lass, and okay, a beautiful one back there must be a bard. There's a blue-skinned fella, so that's something special. Yes, adventurers. And he kind of puts two pudgy fingers into his mouth and whistles. And a guy
starts getting all tense.
Yeah. And a guy comes out, an older human. Looks like he probably retired rich from the Eldritch Knight profession.
In other words.
Yeah, he comes out and he is eating what looks like a cold chicken sandwich. And he kind of wipes some crumbs away, holds the sandwich in his offhand, and he says, Dugar, what's going on? What's the commotion? And then Dugar, who's apparently the dwarf, says, Eleander, you won't believe the luck. Fresh adventurers. Where'd your folks say you hailed from?
Yes.
Oh yeah, just we kind of met up on the road.
Which road would that be?
They're here for the
yes.
festival.
The King's Road, I believe, going from Waterdeep.
Oh, of course. Yes. So they saw the signs, what we hung. So they're looking to track down these laughing bandits. And Eleander just kind of like gives him like this look, and he's like, "We're going with that. We're gonna go with laughing bandits." And then the dwarf is like, "I mean, I haven't really heard much better." He says, "Oh, that's fine. It's just a little on the nose." Okay. All right, adventurers. Great. We could certainly use some help. These are some exciting times, to be sure. My name's Eleander Fireborn. I'm the captain of the guard here. No big deal. Pleased to meet you. Hail and well met and all of that. And he extends his hand in the forearm shake of the Forgotten Realms, if anybody wants to partake of it.
Afro will reach out.
Okay. He grips your forearm, and you grip his forearm, and you shake. All right.
And we've heard of you. In fact, we heard that you were quite the adventurer in your day as well.
He just kind of his eyes light up like a guy that likes being praised. But his face remains stoic, and he just says, that was a lifetime ago. Anyways, if you are interested in tracking down our laughing bandits, I have some information that could be useful to you. Can any of you read and write?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Actually,
Bestie was kind of insulted.
Of course I can read and write.
And like as this conversation has been happening, my grip on Vesh's arm has been slowly tightening.
Vesh, among the humans of Tyrell, not a good majority of them don't bother learning to read and write. So they have other things to worry about. So
Well,
it's
he's a
generally what
dragonborn.
is generally what you're starting.
He
to
only
pick
really knows Dragonborn culture, and
right. So yeah, he motions to the dwarf, Dugar. Dugar hands him a scroll, and he hands it to you guys, and he says, "This should contain everything you need to know about the gnolls. They have several hyenas working for them. Uh, they're experts in the wilderness, which is part of the problem we're having. We did do a whole oh look, a juicy tempting target, it's guards in disguise situation, but as soon as the trap was revealed, they were smart enough to flee back into the bogs, and we were unable to pursue with any alacrity.
so you have at least tried to get rid of him then.
Yes, so I'd say you probably wouldn't want to try the whole bait and switch catfishing thing, because they're probably wise to it now.
Yes. This may be something we're interested in doing. I have heard that
The coin should be pretty good. If you can, I'm willing to pay 100 gold per head. But if you get me the set, that is to say all three, I'll round it up to 500.
Sold.
it's quite nice.
Yeah.
I have heard that you hold quite the library that you've gathered over your time. I was wondering if we could gain access to it.
Really? You already heard of my library, and you just got to town. That's pretty
Well, we
flattering.
actually spoke with your guards earlier. We went looking for it first. They're quite nice. The male a little frumpy, but pretty
His
nice
eyes
guards.
kind of narrow, and he says, "So you came to town and went to my home and my library first thing?"
Well, we went to the
Well,
market first, of course.
yeah, and you have quite a reputation there, sir. We
Actually,
certainly are just starting out here, and
Alien.
any wisdom you might be able to impart would be of great value to us.
All right.
Alexander, I was just walking him around, and we were walking by your place, and I mentioned that that's kind of a library area.
Oh,
And,
you're that.
They want to stop.
You're that turtle bodyguard that I've seen around. Yeah. Sorry, I can't recall the name, but I obviously could never forget. And he kind of gestures at everything that is you.
Locke just looks him right in the eye. It just says no problem. And he just
So
locks eyes with him. Yeah.
yeah, appreciate you advertising my my collection. Yeah, I do collect a few books. If you happen upon books in your travels, please feel free to run them past. Well, I mean, I guess you could run them past me, but I do retain a scribe at my estate. She can check against my collection, the quality of the book, and I might be willing to pay, sometimes generously, for a tome that I haven't found already. If that's what you were asking.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Ah.
Definitely that.
Okay.
Yes. I'm just a student foremost, and I'm interested in whatever you could lend to read.
So
I just wanted to see the home of the second strongest person in
huh.
town.
Master Dragonborn, there are different types of strength, to be sure. I would say that if there's a strongest,
Is that wizard?
oh, certainly not. Certainly not. Hold on a sec. There's like a billion names. I want to make sure I get this one right, since it's the first one I'm busting out on you. Let's see. my gosh. You killing me, Edith. How do you spell your friggin' name? Anyways, he says, oh, that would definitely be Edith. She is the strongest among us.
And what is
And
it she
yeah, I
does
am the
here?
hero.
What does Edith do? I mean, wow, she keeps the whole of the town running. She's a bit of a traditionalist, but yeah, Ida Owland is her name. She's a noble, but you wouldn't know it to look at her. And by that, I don't mean to insult her appearance. I just mean that she's very gruff, very pragmatic. Um, she works hard, even though she doesn't have to. And her passion is definitely this town. Uh, she's been a bit resistant to some of the changes that we've tried to make. I myself work for an organization called the Lord's Alliance. Have you heard of it?
Can I see if I've heard of them?
Yeah. It would be a super simple history check, like a DC 5. Anybody could roll it.
A 12.
Okay.
Would Locke know just from his connections?
I mean, yeah, but this would be pretty much just if you recall information about them.
Okay.
Yeah, the Lord's Alliance, we see a potential here for greatness, and there's just when we talk about strength, the strength and iron will of Owland, while it keeps the town at its current state, which is to say prosperous and free, it also, I think, holds it back a little. Perhaps I've overspoken, though. Excuse me. But yes, I do appreciate the compliment. Now, is there anything else?
Where would we find this Edith woman?
Well, more or less like I think I saw her pass by. She might be at the festival. If you're looking for her in a more professional capacity, she does have property here in the town, and she is a big fan of the Wicker Goat, so she does take her meals there sometimes to be out and about with the community.
Vesh just kind of nods and then starts being a bit dismissive of the guy.
All right.
Well,
He has eyes on that chicken sandwich, so he's definitely, if you guys are done, he's done, kind of thing.
Well, wait, so did he say I could go use his library? I'm a little confused.
Oh, he definitely didn't say that. He said he would buy books from you guys, because that's what he thought you were angling towards when you, because you're adventurers. Adventurers only care about money, so you're obviously just trying to find somebody to pawn some shitty books you found in a dungeon off of. That's kind of the vibe that you got, was that that you guys were like, oh yeah, I heard you had a great library, which is sort of the segue into, we found these books. Would you like to buy them? That seems to be the general direction that he was going.
Would you mind if I perused your library and borrowed a few texts?
He kind of eyeballs you, and I mean, as anybody that would like traditional human beauty, he is appreciative of what he sees, and he says, well, I hardly know you. I'm not in the custom of having strangers come into my home. I suppose, here, why don't we sweeten the deal? If you can bring me the heads of these 3 Knoll bandits, you can have 2 whole days in my library, and I'll even make my scribe available to assist you with any sort of research you need.
Yes, that sounds very fair. Thank you.
Alrighty. Anybody else need anything? or this guy's going to get to that chicken sandwich.
What was Olander's last name?
Fireborn.
I did add it to the quest log, just FYI.
Also, every handout that I show you guys, you should be able to access after I show it to you.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. All right.
It's on the little Saltmarsh drop down by the looks of it. Is that right?
Yep.
Alright, I guess on to the festival then.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Does anybody need like 5 minutes to grab a drink or anything, or are we
Yeah,
good to go?
sure.
Yeah.
And I will go get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Let's do a quick drink refresh and all that jazz.
Alright, back in a minute.
Okay. Ugh. Let's see. I actually have a real deal map for the festival. All right. Do we have everybody back or close
I'm
to
back.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. So let me grab your minis and bring you on over to the festival. So it's a pretty enough map and there's a lot to do, so it'd be a cool one.
Did we get a cut from the bolts of silk and
The
the ale we dropped back?
300 that got paid out to your group was sort of the here's your money. Thanks for all your hard work kind of thing. So they don't seem to have paid you out anything, but beyond that. So really, I guess it'll just time will tell, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But at no point were they like, yeah, I can't wait to pay you a portion of these the money we get for these silks. Also keep in mind that not like it's not like a video game where they just like ka-ching, it turns into gold. They'd have to, if it's smuggled goods, they'd have to slowly launder it into the local economy, blah 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 blah, that kind of stuff. So alrighty, festival, man. Pretty cool stuff going on here. Put you guys by the front door. There we go. And then I'll drop you guys on the map. There we go. Alrighty.
Oh wow, so my screen was placed right at that tiger and just like zoomed in on that tiger. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep, so we're dead. Yeah. Alright. So you guys arrive at this pretty crazy looking festival that is set up on the open green in the town. As you approach, you do see that 2 town guard have been stationed here by the entrance, and there is a essentially a entry
Sorry,
booth,
I'm back.
a ticket booth where they are looking for that sweet money for entry into their fair, as it were. So it is a single silver piece to enter the fairgrounds.
Can that come out of party funds?
Yeah,
that is up to the party for sure, but this is an excellent,
that's appropriate for party funds.
yeah, excellent use of party funds.
Just clarification: who's carrying the party funds?
You are.
What? Okay.
I mean, rather than leave it in the trust of someone he sees as one of the Zhentarum, Vesh would happily shoulder the pack.
The guards also kind of clear their throat and they point to a sign, and the sign does say weapons check. And you do see that there are bundles of leather and hides where apparently they have checked people's weapons for the fairgrounds.
I'm gonna pout a little and say, "Oh, I just got this."
And then they kind of shrug, and the guard says through his his helm, he just says, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, but city council they made the call. last time we had a festival come through, things got a little rowdy, and they wanted, they want to keep any incidents down this time.
Rowdy, my gosh. Well, that sounds dangerous.
It was 3 people died.
I'm gonna draw my saber and kind of turn around and show it to him, like, look at this. Look at how well made this is. I can't. Just let me hang on to this one.
Oh, well, now that I've seen it, I definitely can't. I mean, if you were smart like everybody else, you would have just handed me your big weapon and kept your small weapons. But if you I mean, if you want to make a thing out of this, I've got grabby hands, so we could do a search.
No.
I'm gonna handle my bow.
Okay. Don't worry. Look, everybody, you can see it's all here. It's all here. It's all labeled, right? You get a little scratch of hide. We write your name on it. We toss it in. We wrap it up. It's good to go.
I just have these kitchen forks.
Oh, forks. That's not a problem. You're gonna be doing a lot of eating in there.
Oh well, probably not too much.
He leans into you, Jenna, conspiratorially, and says, thick is the new hotness.
Oh, is it?
Do I still have my saber?
I think
and
I'm doing
stab
just
him?
fine.
I mean, you could definitely stab this guard outside of this festival. That would definitely change the course of the rest of the session. But it is Dungeons and Dragons. If you feel the need to do so.
Do it.
I'm gonna just give him a
look.
look, like a murder smile. Yeah, like a murder smile.
You'll understand when you're older, sweetheart. So, all right, weapons. All right, so you guys hand over. They're basically, this is like the laziest airport security. Like anything obvious, they're gonna be like cool, and then scribble your name on it and toss it in the pile, kind of thing. If you take it's like sneaking snacks to a movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take any time at all to conceal like a smaller sized weapons, like they're not gonna bother looking for it.
Javelins aren't small, so
Yeah.
I don't have anywhere I can take.
I still have my dagger. I haven't even been wielding it. So.
As Vesh hands over his equipment, his eyes kind of like burn into the guards, and he's just like, "If these are lost or damaged, I'll be taking their worth out of your hide. You got that?"
Oh, I got it. I understand the love a man can have for his weapons.
I'm gonna hide the pistol and if I can see if I can try to have not even search for the crossbow.
Okay. How big is the crossbow?
Should be a hand crossbow.
Hand crossbow? Yeah. So give me a sleight of hand for the for each of the items that you are like. The pistol is small enough that you could just kind of stick it up under your plumage and nobody's even gonna notice it. Hand crossbow might be a little bit harder to hide.
Is a hand crossbow or a light crossbow smaller? I thought the hand one was.
A hand crossbow is the smallest one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
It's maybe the size of like a real world frisbee. You know what I'm saying?
A light crossbow is actually quite big.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to know where you put it, but you did manage to hide both your hand crossbow and your pistol.
Dope.
All
Just
right.
walks by.
Yeah, the guard looks at your warhammer, Naxos, and says, "Yeah, you swinging that big dick. All right." Good for you.
He doesn't see me at the tavern, I guess. He saw me.
What's the name?
Don't think I've named it.
No, I mean your name, so I could put it on the slip.
Naxos.
Good to know. And like a Starbucks employee, he writes down nachos and then he puts it with the warhammer. All right.
Would you take a girl's walking stick on such a hot day?
Oh, of course not. You keep your forks, you keep your walking stick. Yeah, whatever you need, girl. Whatever you need.
Thank you.
All right. So the gate, it is a pretty fascinating affair. You're pretty sure magic is at work here, because it is a giant animated dragon head. Whoa, hello.
Hello. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Yeah, it is
mine cut out for a minute.
a giant animated dragon head, and it is breathing fire. So more than likely, some kind of magic at work there.
Yeah, can I discern if it's magical by like inspecting it a bit?
Well, a
Ditto.
detect magic would know for sure.
Don't got that yet.
Yeah, Arcana would require you to spend some time checking it out. So
Then I wouldn't really check that then.
okay,
Just walk past it.
all right. Yeah, you guys head in, and man, there is a lot of shit going on here. It is a feast to the eyes, the ears, and the senses. Do you guys just want a real quick play-by-play, or do you want to just kind of slowly explore?
A play-by-play is fine for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So real quick, over here seems to be a farmer's market of sorts. Let's see. What else do we got? Way over here with this giant octopus-looking thing. This seems to be where you get your drinks from. So this is the drink stand. Alcoholic drinks. There's a balloon vendor who is using some sort of incredible arcane power to shape the balloons into non-balloon shapes. Not sure what that's all about. Here they have quote-unquote wyvern thighs. They are the D&D equivalent of turkey legs.
Daddy.
Yeah, you're pretty sure they're not made from real wyverns, but they are sizable. They could probably be used as an improvised club if you needed to. They're very big. Let's see, what else? There is a stand that proclaims that it is selling something called a firework. There are some halflings that are selling a variety of cheeses. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Here is a booth that is selling rare, quote-unquote, star metal armor. You find that harder to believe because star metal is one of the rarest metals in all of Dungeons & Dragons. An elderly gentleman is running what looks like an information booth. Next to that seems to be some sort of wizrobe and his familiar, some sort of apothecary type setup going on here. There is a petting zoo, in case you want to do that. There is a place where you can get snacks and desserts.
Is that an owl bear?
That is an owlbear. Yeah, it looks
Okay.
super tame.
And a dog gif standing next to him.
Yeah. There's dogs, cats, flying snakes, ravens, beavers, all kinds of things. There is a toy shop. There is a mask shop. You can get masks. There is sort of the partner booth to the fireworks booth, because you know how fireworks booths are. They can't ever be content with just one. And they proclaim that you can get a free sparkler, whatever that is, with every purchase. Let's see. Way up here is the scale merchant. So basically, this is somebody who buys and sells monsters. So that's going on way up there. What else is there? Oh man. Yeah, over here there is a place where you could throw axes. It is called Eye of the Beholder. There is also an archery range where you could practice your archery or show off your archery to win some fabulous prizes. There is a quote-unquote enchanted tattoo parlor where you can get magical tattoos. There is a stage where they are going to have a battle of the bards, which is pretty cool. There is a fortune-telling booth called the Jinn's Fortune. Apparently this lady is a genie or claims to be a genie. Let's see. There is Whack-A-Worm fun and games. You can see how many purple worms you can smash within a limited amount of time. let's see. You could purchase Snake on a Stick if you're into that. What else do we got? Gosh, there's a lot going on here. Oh
Jack
yeah.
Black.
So the
There is
Griffin
a there is a doppelganger over here that apparently has some sort of show going on that they're performing. You can apparently get griffin rides. That seems dangerous. So that's something that you can do.
Only if you don't bow first.
There is a shop that is selling grog and other quote-unquote enchanted spirits. And there is a tent labeled The Pointy End that is only sells pointed things. And supposedly they have some pretty rare and experimental goods. And then there is a games booth called Mimic or Not, where apparently there are trained mimics that will kill you if you choose them instead of the chest that contains the prize. That sounds fun, and you're not sure how it got past the safety board. There is a lemonade stand, because that's a thing. Beef jerky stand. And there's also an arena where an assortment of different games and tests of strength and dexterity are being had throughout the day. There's also this communal eating, sitting, drinking, and listening area. The place is pretty packed. I didn't put as many minis as there probably are because that would be stupid and kill your roll 20. But I put enough to sort of give you an idea that, yeah, it's a pretty bustling, crazy place. I know that, Garuda, you were looking for fellow Zhentarum members, or at least, I shouldn't say fellow, you were looking for Zhentarum members. You do recognize Luck of the Draw is there, and you're pretty sure some other people are there as well, mixed into the crowd.
Yeah, I thought I
that
saw too.
Yeah. All right, so that's a lot going on. How about we go round robin so I get a better idea of what everybody's doing? So, Jenna, what are you going to do?
Jenna's gonna go to this area.
Okay.
She's gonna talk to the information guy and the apothecary.
All right. As you approach, a rather bored and swarmy-looking wizrobe with a raven familiar sort of changes his bored look to a warm smile as you approach. And he says, "Ah, lady, well met. What brings you to my tiny little booth? The spell stop."
Have you got Wally on your shoulder now?
Yeah.
Wally's on my head.
Okay. Is this a Pokemon battle? Am I supposed to charge forward after making eye contact with you and force you to battle Xavier here?
I may just have him harden on repeat so you can never kill him. You have quite a nice awareness. You said it was the spell stop. What do you offer here?
Well, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Sell some more of the common potions that you might encounter, as well as the reagents and materials necessary for the casting of the arcane arts. Also, if you're feeling extra spicy, you can climb the stairs there for but a mere 5 gold and partake of the mystery potion. And you see the mystery potion kind of ooze up out of the cauldron and wave a pseudopod at you.
Wave a pseudopod?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um.
Don't worry, she loves being drank by people. Drunk? Drank? Yeah.
Drink.
Yeah. Semantics. Are you in the profession? He says in a meaningful way.
That I am. Yes.
Oh. Where did you do your studies at? If you don't mind me asking.
Say.
Jenna, definitely the sort of girl that was homeschooled, if you ask
the,
me.
the where? I don't think I caught that. Where did you do your studies at?
Fae.
Fae, like in the Fae Wild.
Fae. TH. Red Wizards of Fae.
Oh, okay. He gets like real, like kind of like serious, and he's like, I just with the hair and the lack of I don't know, ominous evil. I just didn't I didn't draw the connection.
Yes, I left the region for a reason.
I see. Well, with that awkwardness behind us, can I help you with anything? Are you
Yeah,
feeling spicy? And he kind of motions to the cauldron, and the cauldron kind of shakes back and forth, invitingly.
Could I take a look at it before I partook?
Ooh, I mean, I can't allow you up the stairs until you have paid the price. The price of curiosity, of course.
Jenna kind of just looks at it for a little bit. Can I discern anything about
There
it?
there is a sign. There is a sign there by the stairs, and it basically says that the spell stop is not liable for anything ever that ever happens to you ever. And anyone who so hands over gold and climbs the stairs forfeits the ability to hold us accountable for anything that happens. Is basically the legalese of the sign.
Would you perhaps be interested in trading some spells?
I mean, not right now, but yeah, he kind of gets like a big smile on his face. I mean, we could start with trading spells and then maybe see where the evening would take us.
We could. I'm not quite sure I want to partake in your mystery potion. No offense, of course.
Understandable. It is pretty risky. We did have somebody turn into a dryad earlier, so he's living his best life now, I'm sure, out in the woods. So
Oh, that sounds marvelous. Though not too interesting.
well, it was interesting for everyone else.
Are you a local for the town?
No, we travel up and down the Sword Coast.
Well, perhaps we should meet up later then. See what the town
Yeah,
has to offer.
certainly. Yeah, I've heard there's a few good taverns in town. Do you have one you could recommend to me? I mean, I won't be off. I won't be off until close to midnight, though. Mr. Maggot, he works us pretty hard.
I guess the only tavern I've heard of so far is the fucking nice one.
The Wicker Goat.
The Wicker Goat, yeah, that was it.
Yes, I heard of a nice place.
The watering hole for the old coppers and authorities. I gotcha.
It's not necessarily my type of place, but it's the only one I know of at this time.
Well, I mean, sure, I'll meet you there. Seems like a quiet enough place to meet up and exchange some notes. I'm willing to trade you on a level for level, spell for spell basis, assuming you have something that I don't already have.
Hopefully, yes. That seems fair.
But as you know, nothing in this world is free. So if I have a spell that you want, you're gonna have to pay for it, and I don't accept smooches.
You say that now. And I guess I'll see you then. And she kind of just walks off.
All right,
Sassy bitch
Naxos.
style.
What are you? Oh yeah, he likes sassy bitch. What is Naxos getting up to?
I want to check out the Jinn person, claiming to be a Jinn at least.
Oh yeah, they are way in the back here. As you can see, they are a for real fortune teller. Look at that, right? Can there be anything more authentic than that? She has a headscarf. She has wispy hair that kind of billows around her head like smoke.
And she's got the oversized gold hoop earrings.
Yeah, she's got it all. Big hook nose, too much red lipstick. Yeah, like you get a good feeling about this place.
Doesn't look very Jinn-like to me.
I mean,
sizing her up.
the hair definitely kind of moving without any wind kind of gives you a little feel for maybe the elements of smoke or air.
Guess I'll pull up a chair.
All right, yeah, as you approach, she kind of looks at you with keen eyes and motions at the table. Can you go ahead, Naxos, and give me a deception roll for no reason?
None at all. Okay, I don't have that.
All right, so it would just
Hold on
be,
one
if you
second.
don't have deception, it would just be charisma. Oh, okay.
Not charismatic at all.
She nods sagely as you arrive, and she says, a fellow Jinn. Welcome, child. You come seeking information.
Always seeking information.
But this information is not about your love for... He is fine. And she kind of looks right at you as she says this.
What'd she say exactly? I didn't quite understand her. Actually.
Oh, she said, but you aren't asking about your love because he is fine.
I'm not. But any other information could be of use. What do you see in your crystal ball here? Kind of like motions at it.
Well, let me see. Give me those hands so well worn by a life at sea.
He reluctantly reaches out.
Okay. She holds your hands in hers and begins to trace the lines of your hands. What is it that you wish to know, child of the sea?
What you see. I don't have a question in mind. I'm very curious about you, though.
Well, I am but a conduit for fate. And your fate... go ahead and roll a d20 for me. She kind of like sucks at her teeth a little bit. It will be a rough road for you, my friend. Things will be tricky. Alas, I can say no more until Silver has exchanged hands. And she kind of motions to a sign that says, readings 5 silver. Best readings 5 gold.
Best reading. I guess I'll pull out 5 silver and toss it onto the table.
Okay. She eyes the coins as they kind of clink and swirl, and says, you are keeping many secrets, and those secrets will remain safe. But as you seek danger, so will danger seek you. Beware the keening laughter in the swamps. It could mean woe for you, but weal if you persevere. And just like that, the coins have been just sort of tidily removed from the table, and the crystal ball stops glowing.
His eyes kind of narrow a bit because he feels like she's a bit generic.
Right. You feel,
I won't take up any more of your time.
You do feel a weight upon you after this this reading, though.
Can I do an insight check just to see if he's legitimate at all?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and do an insight check. A lot of this is dress up and acting and flavor. But she does legitimately seem to have some arcane or divine ability.
Prestidigitation and a glowy ball. Okay.
Well, there's certainly magic at work, and you definitely feel as though you have been affected in some way. But yeah, a lot of what she said and did is just sort of dress up, and you imagine that she's just very good at sort of like sizing people up.
There's something on my token.
I guess I have a status effect of some sort.
I guess. I don't know. Weird.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's enough for Nexus for now.
Okay. So that brings us to Veshkadel. What are you going to get up to?
Well, he's only interested in two things:
Mm-hmm.
the arena right in the middle there,
Mm-hmm.
and finding this Edith woman.
Okay. Do you ask around for Edith, or do you just?
Yeah, he would ask around, although he would probably avoid asking women and children because he knows he's a bit imposing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you ask kind of a burlier guy, maybe a sailor or something like that, and he just kind of looks at you, and he's like, yeah, I seen her. Who's asking? You don't mean no trouble, do you? You ain't sent from the Daggerford, are you?
I don't even know where that is. No, I'm just merely here to speak to her, seeing as she has such a reputation. I'd like to meet the strongest person in town.
Oh, she's right over there with Prime Water.
Old Mima in her pod.
So Vesh just nods to the guy and goes on over to say hello.
All right.
Although she's not very impressive at first glance by the looks of it.
Yeah, she's a little lady. Little old lady. But she has there's definitely a fierceness to her when you approach. You definitely get the sense that that this lady there's a lot more to her than at first would appear. So let's see. Let me give you a little bit more to it. Yeah, she seems very salt of the earth. She has nice clothes that are well maintained, but nothing like ostentatious or overly embroidered or anything. Simple but well maintained clothing. She is old and slightly stooped, but mostly has a straight back, and her eyes are keenly intelligent as she kind of takes in the goings on around her. She is arm in arm with a human man who seems to be of maybe Eluskan descent, as is she. And he has definitely a look about him of confidence and charm, heavily scarred on the right side of his face. He is tall and well built, probably in his 30s. And like the two of them are kind of walking arm in arm, and they seem to be casually discussing things. And as you approach, give me a perception check. Yeah, so you kind of hear the woman say, I just hope we don't this doesn't fuck up like the last festival. That was a disaster. Who brings two displacer beasts to a festival? I mean, I'm just glad that we took a look at the Scale Master this time and made sure that all of his things were caged appropriately. That's all I'm saying. And you hear kind of a rich laugh come from the other guy, and he says, Ida, no reason to fret. Besides, sure, there was a little death, a little mayhem, but it gave the people something to remember. And he kind of chuckles again. Uh, it's a wild world. The Sword Coast more wild than most. It's just how it goes. And she kind of looks to him and says, I suppose, but things seem to be getting a little crazy lately. I have half a mind to start actively looking for adventurers, you know? And he kind of looks to her and kind of cocks a bushy eyebrow and says, well, you might have some luck then. There's a dragonborn approaching, and that's nearly 99% of all adventuring parties. Yeah. And so they turn to face you as you approach, Vesh.
So yeah, noticing as well that there's kind of a couple of guards nearby. Clearly, she is this person of importance.
Oh yeah. He just sort of subtly. They kind of are hanging back. They're hanging back, but.
I couldn't help but overhear. You're looking for adventurers. I hear that you are Edith.
I am Edith. Some call me Ida. Owland. I'm pleased to meet you. And she extends her hand in the more traditional, like male way of greeting, which is that forearm to forearm shake. There's no noble lady kiss my hand situation going on here.
He kind of cocks his head and gets like he's gotten his impression of her and the guy she's standing with. Yeah, and he will shake her hand.
Okay. Yes, and this here is my very good friend, Gellin Primewater. He's a local businessman. And Gellin offers his hand to shake as well as forearm shake.
Having heard his comments before about never mind the death and that sort of thing, it gave people something to remember. He's a little bit leery of this guy, but not wanting to annoy her. Yeah, he does shake his hand as well.
Okay. Yeah, the guy's got a firm grip, and he definitely seems to be sizing you up. It's very much like superhero supervillain run into each other on the street in their secret identities kind of situation. Yeah. And he just says hail and well met. Your kind has a reputation in the last few decades of ushering in adventure. Am I to assume that's what we should expect?
You should, yes. Wherever I go, there seems to be an element of trouble, although usually I'm trying to solve it.
Oh, we are a community, always on the watch for trouble. Edith kind of looks over at him and nods, and then she looks to you and says, so you have an adventuring party then?
Yes, I am one of 6.
Is it a band I may have heard of?
It is not. We have only just made our way to the city.
Oh, I thought you might be the Sword Saints of Phandalin, or perhaps Magic Head of famed repute from Waterdeep.
We hope to make a name for ourselves that you will remember, such as theirs.
Well, fortuitous. It sounds like you work cheap then.
It depends. To me, honor is more, and honor and what's the word? Yeah, honor and justice are more important than the money reward. But the others in my party may not see eye to eye with that opinion.
Well, this is a crowded place and very busy, but I do have some work that needs doing. It's a bit sensitive to talk about out in the open. Perhaps I could get us a private room at the Wicker Goat this evening, and we could discuss it then over a meal. Or do you plan to stay here all night? If that's the case, we can certainly meet tomorrow.
No, I believe some of my other comrades were looking to go back to that tavern tonight, so I can certainly meet you there.
I could get the full measure of your group. And
Yes.
if you don't mind, I'll bring Gellin along as well. He and I work hand in hand to take good care of the town.
I understand. Well,
She kind of leans in and she says, Gellin and I are the only ones who want to keep the spirit of this community intact. Those damned loyalists, they're always... then don't get me started on the Daggerfords. Oh.
yes, someone mentioned them to me earlier. They sound like the sort of lot that you would want in town.
I think they mean well. It's just they don't understand the spirit of the town. That needs to be taken care of.
Well, as you said, rather than me just keep you all day, we can talk later when
Of course.
coins are gathered.
Yeah, we have appearances to make. We'll be judging the archery contest. Well, not that there's much to judge, but you get the idea.
There's
I know
archery contest.
someone who may possibly change your mind on that.
And Gellin lets out a hearty good guy laugh and is like, maybe we'll get some matching tattoos while we wait. And Edith kind of titters a bit and says, "Oh, you scamp. My tattoo days are long behind me."
Well, actually, I noticed you standing by this arena here. What sort of friendly competitions can I expect to see here today?
Well, from what I understand, they're going to have people wrestle an alligator. That should be interesting. There's a bit of a jousty tournament, I believe, and then there's chasing a pig. They've got to grease a pig up and put grease everywhere. That'll be pretty amusing.
And will be. Very well. Perhaps not as interesting as I'd hoped for, but nonetheless, it should entertain.
Are you looking for something a little more engaging?
Yeah, as he kind of steps closer to the Vesh kind of grins and he's like, I think maybe you're thinking the same as I, Gellin.
I mean, who knows what sort of wonders the nightlife of Saltmarsh might have in store for someone with your extracurricular interests.
He laughs and he says, yes, well, I'm sure as we talk business later, we can talk entertainment as well.
Certainly. Edith, shall we? And they kind of head off.
They depart.
All right.
Ash goes to find Garuda.
All right, Locke, what are you doing while all this is going down?
Locke's heads over looking for Look of the Draw and calls out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Luck, can I buy you a drink?
My lovely shelled friend. What's up?
What do you think about this Lord's Alliance? What's the Goblet think about them?
I mean, they're, idiots, but that's the best kind of guards, I suppose. I will say, though, that the Lord's Alliance has been pushing Fireborn a bit harder, and he's getting a little too nosy. I don't think the big boss is gonna like that too much, but the Goblet's kind of taking it in stride.
And the way he says big boss, it's very much like Team Rocket talking about Giovanni, like the big boss. So.
Well, let me buy you a drink.
Oh no, my treat. I've been fleecing these sheep pretty hard, huh? You want some lemonade to keep the head straight, or you want to hit the harder shit?
The hard stuff.
Excellent. I also managed to pilfer some of this. It's pretty spicy. Scorpion jerky. Can you believe the shit they managed to make nowadays? This is incredible.
That's like this party I'm with. They want me to carry around their money for them.
If only the whole world were just a pasture of sheep and we two wolves could hunt and prowl to our heart's content. Elysium Fields, that's what they would be.
And you can see that he's just picking pockets as you go. Just la la la, like gimme, gimme, gimme. as he makes his way over to the booth.
And I'll make sure that the money from the party is still with, and just kind of hang out with him for a little bit.
Yeah, as you check your pouch, you do see a playing card with a joker whose face has been scratched out and had a smiley cat face drawn over it. But all of the coin does seem to be there.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. And he just says, like,
yeah, these festivals, we should start, like, sponsoring them or something. Like, maybe theme them around, like wizards, like Wizard Con. That sounds kind of dangerous, though. I'm still spitballing some ideas,
All right, so he just begins to talk your ear off about his convention ideas that he's been hatching.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Garuda, what are you up to while this is going on?
I want to go up to the fireworks.
Oh,
pit
sure.
right here.
The one that's trying to grab you when you come in, or the bigger one that has the legit fireworks further in?
Oh, the big one then, dude. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so there's a dude there. Dude looks like he walked right out of like a steampunk Pinterest page. So, and he says, "Aye, hail and well met, Birdman. I see that you have an eye for the flashier things in life."
Yeah, kind of. Main thing is that these are the things that go bang, right?
Ah, yes. From my homeland, Lantan. Yep.
Okay, how do they go bang?
Oh, he gets a big smile on his face, and his mustache kind of curls up even more than it already is. And he says, "Would you believe me when I said magic?"
No. Try again.
Oh, that's a shame. It's a trade secret, you see. I can't really go spreading that here and far and there and now and all that sort of thing.
All
If
right.
you are looking to learn the trade, you could travel to the island of Lantan and sign up for an apprenticeship.
Sounds like way too much work for me at the moment.
Oh, it's a shitload of work, that's for sure.
Another question. So,
Mhm.
Rudo does actually know what a gun is, right? Just double checking.
Oh yeah. You're interested in tinkering tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. The island of Lantan is sort of like the ultimate like tinkerer's paradise. So even like garage-based operations like yourself would have heard of, the big dick stuff that they're doing over at Lantan.
Ooh.
Like they're inventing like stuff that's just way ahead of everybody else. A big part of that is most of the people in power in Toril are magic users, and they view technology as a equalizer that they do not want developed. So as long as they control the magic, they control the technology, basically. And they do not like science and engineering because it basically allows people who are not born with magic or smart enough to learn magic to use these devices and basically mimic magic. So there are a lot of laws in place, a lot of taxes and tariffs and just anything that they could get into place to stymie the growth of engineering and steampunk and things like that. They have put that stuff into place, and that is 100% lore for Forgotten Realms. If you were ever curious why there's not a lot of firearms in Forgotten Realms,
Fair enough, huh? Yeah, I get you.
but Lantan is an independent nation, and they do what they want, and so they have all sorts of crazy, wondrous things. It's like Iron Kingdoms over there. They've got like mech suits and all kinds of crazy stuff.
All right. So, okay, I got you. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, dude. So, another question. I was out
Mhm.
exploring the other day. There is these That's what I'm looking for. guess wands is the best way to describe it. That went bang, just like your fireworks here. They
Was
shot
it like
out
this? And then he shows you a stand that would be used to fire fireworks up into the air. It's very big.
like almost a mortar, or
Yeah, like a mortar. Yeah.
it was kind of like this, but a lot, lot smaller. Um,
He looks left and he looks right, and then he opens his vest, and you see a pistol, like a small asp pistol, is kind of tucked into a holster in the vest.
like the one I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Though
it.
his is way more like modified, like to an embarrassing amount. Like there's like a scope on there and an extended magazine and all kinds of other like ridiculous stuff like on this tiny ass gun.
Okay. Like yeah, like that. What are these called? And
Oh,
how do I make them?
they're firearms, and you better be careful if you're making them because their use, construction, and general existence is not well liked here on the Sword Coast. If there were, I'd be selling them instead of fireworks.
Oh, trust me, these things literally took out my whole party.
Oh yeah, no, that's just it. Think about this. You've got a Wizrobe. He's throwing around some fire bolts. That's a lot of damage. Burning shit up. Blowing things down. You've got some poor sap, looks good, thinks they've got it figured out. They make a deal with some, otherworldly entity. Next thing you know, Eldritch Blast. Fucking every day of the week. But these are rare things, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that. But like, I'm talking about if the Lantan Navy and Marines ever had to go to war, there's a reason nobody bothers us, man. Because, like, we'd blow your fucking heads off. Every last citizen just picks one of these bad boys up, and we've got bigger, badder ones back home, man. Like, crazy stuff. There's one that, like, you're basically like a dragon. You're just shooting fire. I'm not even making this shit up.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, they pack a punch. They let anybody pack a punch too. That's what's so nice about them. It's all about equity, my friend. All about equity.
Do you have any other tools I can use? I see yours is like pretty modified, I like lift up my plume just to like show mine, like try to get
Yeah.
like yeah. I was like, brothers, dude, like yours is heavily modified.
Oh yeah.
Would you be
Man,
willing to?
you do seem pretty interested in what's going on here. Um, ooh, ooh. Tell you what. Uh, man, do you know who that is? And he points over at a woman, and you realize with either a sinking heart or maybe a rising heart that he's pointing at Jenna.
Oh, yeah, I do
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, yeah, I've had my eye on her since she showed up. She kind of has that bad bitch, sexy librarian that might kill you, sort of thing going on.
She will do all those things and more.
Oh man,
What are you promising him?
he kind of leans in conspiratorially, and you smell his weird spicy tobacco that has sort of stained his beard. So he kind of smells like a mix of like oil, gunpowder, and like spicy tobacco. And he's like, yeah, I mean, if you guys are friends, maybe you could introduce me. And depending on how well that goes, I might be able to let my spare set of tools go missing, for a modest fee, of course.
I can get you in
I
the
would
room.
never want you to be trading your friend for stuff. That'd be like she's a hooker, like we don't want that to happen.
All I can
I'm
say,
saying
I
your
can.
act of kindness would encourage my act of kindness.
I can for sure get you into a room with her, or I can get you to talk to her. But you got to make the bed rock yourself.
All right, go ahead and give him a persuasion check.
Bitch, asshole.
the way you're talking has me a little nervous. And he kind of looks over at her. Jenna, give me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, 18.
Okay, yeah, Jenna, you notice that Garuda and a steampunk trash guy are kind of eyeballing you from across the way.
Jenna just kind of blushes and she does like a huh and waves.
I'm most sure to come over. Like,
You hear sort of a rumbling sound in this dude's neck area beneath the beard, like. Okay, do you head over there?
Yeah, if Garuda motions me over there. I was at the bar, so I'll just meander over with my drink.
Okay, sure. Yeah, the guy is. You see the guy real quick, kind of reaches behind his ear, and then he starts waxing his mustache a little bit more, just to make sure that it's extra waxed before you arrive.
Hello.
My lady, hail and well met. Didn't even see you there. You have an interest in things that bang? Go bang.
I have a little interest in bang, but I actually see you're talking to my friend here. Gritta's a friend. We've done stuff together. Stuff, but like
this guy knows about the wands. They call it firearms, and he knows about them.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're an enthusiast, just like Garuda here.
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit more than that. Trained under Master Artificer Tonky Tonk back in Lantan.
Wow, that's so impressive. I can't believe you made it all the way out here. Why would you want to leave such a marvelous place?
He gets a little cagey when you ask him that. You grow up on an island nation your whole life. You get wanderlust. You want to see the world. So
there's a lot of great things to see out here. That's true.
I'll say. Yeah, I'm working late because I got to do the fireworks show. But any chance I might see you afterwards?
Yes. We can all hang out together at that one bar, the Struggling Ram, or
the Wicker Goat.
That's it, the Wicker Goat.
I don't know if that's the best place for contraband, my friend.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know of a pretty seedy place. At least I've heard it's pretty seedy. Hanging Net, something like that. Empty Net. It's literally out by the water. It hangs over the water. It's on like stilts.
That place sounds great, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty rowdy from what I understand.
Ooh, I love rowdy boys.
He blushes pretty hard, since he considers himself a rowdy boy. Well, if that's the case, I'll make sure that I bring an extra set of tools, because you never know if things will need fixing. And he gives you a meaningful look, Garuda.
I smile, like, okay.
Yeah, I could see there. How's 2 a.m. sound?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty late, but not too late for me, of course. So yeah, sure.
Yeah, I could be over there by 2.
Alrighty. Then it's a date. It's a date that we all agreed upon.
Yeah, it's a date. Yeah. And Jenna just kind of starts brisking back to the bar.
I follow her.
Pointing at the medic chest, like, haha.
And right at that point, you would have caught up with him, with Garuda, Vesh. So you're back together. Afra, while all this is going on, what are you doing?
I'm definitely gonna go pet some animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you arrive, you look around for the human caretaker of the animals, but respectfully, there is none present.
Okay.
A beaver looks up at you, its eyes gleaming with intelligence. And it says, hello there. You interested in aminals?
Sure. I'm a little confused. I'm gonna look around, like, why is this beaver talking to me?
Respectfully, I would ask that you not be put out by my demeanor, I'm an awakened beaver, you see.
Oh. Okay.
That means that at some point something happened. In my case, a druid, and I was given above animal intelligence.
Well, you're certainly more intelligent than a few of the humans I've met.
Oh, that is a pretty good jest. So you're here to pet some animals. Certainly. This is a non-profit situation. It's free to pet the animals. If you feel that the conservation and rehabilitation of injured creatures is something that moves your heart, then I would respectfully ask that you make a donation to our nonprofit so that we can keep up these conservationist efforts throughout the Sword Coast region.
Well, you know what? I am so impressed by you, my friend. I'm gonna flip you a gold piece.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And it disappears into his beaver pouch, which is just a fanny pack because beavers are not marsupials; they do not have a pouch. So,
any of these animals look like fun or dangerous?
yes, the owlbear looks like it could literally kill you in 6 seconds. Like from full hit points to 3 failed death saves. It looks like it could.
I don't know. I've heard that this little guy is pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, you do see Wally apparently mingling as well.
Wally's just watching this guy.
Oh, okay.
Hanging out.
I'm gonna scritch the owlbear's chin on my way to the animal market up there.
Yeah. All right, so Colonel Sanders is what his collar says. Yeah, Colonel Sanders accepts your treatment, and you're not sure what's wrong with Colonel Sanders, but Colonel Sanders seems super docile. Yeah, but you do see the size of the claws, the sharpness of the beak, and the absolute bulk of its musculature, and you do believe that it could kill you in 6 seconds.
Very well.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wander up to the dangerous creature buying area.
All right. A sinister-looking turtle seems to be in charge of this setup. He has a mechanical guardian, medium size, standing guard out front, and it has a glaive, and it seems to be made of plate armor. And it nods at you as you approach, and it says, "Hail and well met."
Hello there. What's going on over here?
This is MC Emporium of Scales.
And
MC is that, and he points at the turtle.
Oh.
And you see the turtle, as he points, is slapping this kobold in the back of the head.
Well, I'm just gonna go talk to your master then, shall I?
Yes, enjoy shopping.
The kobolds look so happy.
They do.
Are very familiar.
They're very happy.
Yeah, so Afra, you come in, and the stink immediately kind of just whoosh, kind of washes over you. You do see that there are additional guards in here, and there are 2, they look like half-orcs, rocking the traditional "I am a half-orc barbarian, good luck trying to kill me" vibe. And then there is a lady over here. Oh, never mind. It's just a statue of a beautiful woman. All right. So the turtle approaches you, and it just says, and I apologize, Naxos, but I don't think I've ever encountered a turtle that didn't sound like a surfer dude. So I mean, he looks over at you
and he's just like, hey, hail and well met. Welcome to MC's Emporium of Scale. Dude. You can see he's looking at your, like, physicality, trying to make sure he got that right. Like, you know. Not sure with these soft skins, you know, what he's working with all the time.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, what do you have in the smaller categories?
Yeah, dude. Over here, you can see I have a baby cockatrice. Look at how adorable it is.
It is very adorable. I was thinking something a little more fluffy, though.
More fluffy than this? You're gonna be like, it's gonna be pretty hard to top that. I mean, it hasn't gotten its real feathers and it's still downy soft. I wouldn't cuddle it. I wouldn't cuddle it though, dude, because one scratch and you turn into stone. So.
Yeah, no, I see that. I'm thinking more furry, less feathery.
Oh well, I got a baby chimera here. Yeah, supposedly was cut right out of the mother after they killed her. So.
Aww.
Yeah, I named him C-section.
His name's
very creative.
Thanks.
I'm gonna.
Obviously, when you get your bill of sale, you'll be able to, tell it, call it whatever you want, I guess.
I'm gonna squat down and say hi to the little baby chimera.
Yeah. The baby chimera, all 4 of its little heads. You can't see the dragon head, but it's there. They seem very confused and very sad, all 4 of them. The snake head seems the most intelligent and curious of the 4 heads.
I'm gonna wiggle my fingers a little bit, like, hey, little dude, come here.
All right. Go ahead and give me a animal handling with disadvantage, because this is a monstrosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them start to sort of hiss and growl and snarl at you, and the ram's head takes control of the body and just like charges and like slams its head against the bars at you.
No. Okay.
Yeah, little C-section's a pretty righteous little dude. He's gonna be a big one. You can tell by the size of the paws. It's gonna be pretty big. If you're looking for something like that to keep your, he kind of eyes you up. Nah, I think, you're probably too poor. Let's move on. So I got this here tiger. This is like sort of a cat. It's from Chult. Mostly I just keep this thing around because I charge druids to study it. Because, like, druids, the only thing that they want more than actually this is probably the thing they want the most is to turn to a fucking tiger. So I make some pretty decent money. I usually keep it covered up, but it's hot today, so I thought I'd give him some air. So this is Tony.
That's kind of you.
Yeah. Hey, say hello, Tony. And you see Tony just turns and just aims his backside at the cage and just sprays urine out everywhere.
I took a step back.
Yeah, and the turtle is he's been in this business for a while. Male tiger can spray up to 30 feet his urine, so you guys use your skills hopefully to avoid it. The smell is horrible. Tiger piss can be smelled for I think like a mile away. It's something crazy like that. It's awful.
Yeah, he's a long timer. He's a lifer for sure. I got him when he was a cub. When I was I was down there in Chult, doing my thing. Anyways, don't worry about it. Over here, don't get too close to this one. Jesus, I don't even know why I bought this thing. That there's a giant sloth.
And you just see like a disgusting like hammock, like just a huge like fur hammock like hanging from the bars of this cage. And it is just overgrown with like fungus and filth. You see like bugs crawling all over it. It looks disgusting. It smells disgusting. You can actually still smell this thing over the smell of the recent tiger piss.
No thanks.
And Afra, you do notice as you pass the statue that Oh my god. I mean, your character has a background in art, right? Because archaeologist. Oh yeah. If you didn't know any better, this is nearly lifelike reproduction.
Hey, friend, any chance your cockatrice got a hold of this one?
Oh yeah. She got stoned pretty hard. I just set her up now because she's nice to look at. She's good company. Doesn't talk back. Always listens to my problems. So, I love you, Sarah. I love you. Okay.
That's completely off the rails.
Here you go. This is a local wolf bat. Huh? The best and worst qualities of like a wolf and a bat. They're all over the Sword Coast, but I don't know. This one he just kind of spoke to me, so I didn't actually speak. I should clarify, because we're in a world where animals can talk. So this one can't talk. Yeah, it's just a regular wolf bat. So
okay.
Useful though, because if you like wolves and casting fireballs, you got the wolf end, and then you got the guano producing end.
Right.
And if you were a gnome with the smallest possible starting height and weight, you could use him as a flying mount. Just throwing that out there. So
Yeah, sadly not a gnome here.
yeah. Anyways, here's Dumbo. This is it's a baby mammoth. I guess it was stolen from its herd up north. I picked that one up when we were up near the Neverwinter. So
Does he fly?
No, he cries a lot. He's a big fucking baby. He just, I don't know. Yeah. I guess he misses his mom. He's got super advanced emotions or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. Supposedly he gets pretty big though. Like, huge even. You could put like a howdah on his back, like a mobile fortress, like ride around on his back and like pew 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 pew, like fire your crossbows and stuff like from up top, and then anything that attacks you would have to kill this guy before it could get to you. So, something to keep in mind, if you ever actually have money. And then over here, this here is called an Ankylosaurus. It's from Schult. I love it. Her name's Treasure, and she is a treasure. Just look at her. Oh.
Yeah, I would not look forward to feeding that.
Yeah, she eats and shits a lot, but you could usually sell the shit to Wizrobes because they think everything's got value as long as you talk it up enough. So, Hans, come on, we got a customer here. Come on. All right, so then over here, we got some giant hornets. Feywild edition.
Yeah, no.
No?
Not into bugs.
I milk the poison. If you're looking for poison, just hit me up. Okay.
No.
All right. This here's Stuart. He's not for sale.
Hi, Stuart.
Yeah. Stuart's a holdout of older edition of the game, so he's a gargantuan dire boar. So they're extinct now. He's a sweetie. Here's another Druid's Delight. And he says, "Oh shit, you're not a druid, are you?"
No.
Oh, thank Gobchow for that one. All right. Oh man, I thought I really screwed up on there. No, this is another super rare thing that druids like to turn into. This thing basically can like pass without trace as its racial ability. Yeah, it's crazy.
What is it?
It's called a crag cat. Not very original, lives in crags. It's pretty hard to catch because they pick their prey. They're very selective, and since they're basically like invisible all the time, when they strike, you're pretty much dead already. So
it looks fluffy.
It looks fluffy.
Yeah, it is awful fluffy. Is that what you're looking for? Because I make a lot of money off of the druid trade with this guy, so I don't know if I'd really be willing to let him go.
What is he tame? Can you train him?
Ooh, I'm sure someone could. Yeah.
I'll squat down again. I'll say hi.
I make
friend.
liberal use of the sleep spell in my profession. Yeah.
Very well. Very well.
All right. Then you see this big fat baby over here. It barely fits in its cage, and it has a happy demeanor, but it's like happy in the way that, like, I don't want to be mean, but like a special needs kid might be happy. like
Yeah.
it doesn't realize how bad of a situation it's in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it just kind of looks over at
It's like,
you, and
"Aw."
it's just like, "Nah."
Well, I'm
And it's-
definitely gonna go pet him.
yeah, it's super affectionate. Yeah, you start petting it.
Oh yeah, that's asshole.
Asshole.
Yeah, he's got an asshole on his back. I haven't figured out what it does yet. I haven't seen any
Ah.
poop come out of it, but I think that seems like a good enough name, you know. He's just the sweetest boy, though. He's just so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd he come from?
Oh, some pirate. I mean, sailors sold him to me.
Gotcha.
They caught him in their net. I think it's some kind of shark hound.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How much for this kid?
Oh man. Honestly, just to get rid of him, I'd probably let him go for 500. Just to get him the hell out of here. He sets a bad example for the other monsters.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
How long are you gonna be in town for?
Oh, I think we're gonna be here for like 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might be able to work something out then.
Yeah, after that we're heading north. We'll probably hit up Daggerford and then just continue along the coast. Might go inland, I don't know. Phandalin, it's been doing a little bit of a resurgence, so maybe there's a market there. I don't know. You know how it goes, dudette.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give him a nice little scritch, and I'm gonna say, "Wait for me, baby."
All right.
I'll
He
be
just kind
back.
of he just kind of honks at you. You know. Ah. All right. And he just shakes his head.
What kind of monster are you? You just gonna fucking cuddle people to death? Jesus. All right. Don't get too close to this cage. There's spiders in there. You know, people love giant spiders. They're fluffy.
Yeah, no.
If you
No.
want one. Yeah, I'll let
No.
them go cheap.
No.
They breed fast.
No.
25 gold. 25 gold, you get your own giant spider.
No, not at all.
All right. They're giant wolf spiders, so there's not even any venom you could milk. I'm regretting ever buying the first mated pair, and they just get on like bunny rabbits.
I mean, a giant wolf spider for 25 gold?
It's not a tame one, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be able to control it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
wanna be the one that
it was
leads
very nice hanging out with you. I wish you was rich and would buy one of my monsters.
Well,
If you
you
know
know
anybody
what?
that is and wants to buy one, please send them my way.
I
Oh
I've got
wait,
some
I
ideas
remember
about it.
now. If you want to sell any monsters while I'm here, I'm always looking for something new.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, we'll see. But I'll just let you know I've got some irons in the fire. Where can I find you after the festival?
I mean, I just stay here. I'm not really a socially adept person. So
Clearly.
First, the company of stone statues.
yeah,
like this
I'll
guy.
probably just throw back a few with the boys. You know, crack open some cold ones with the boys, and then maybe make sweet love to Sarah. You know, till I fall asleep. You know.
Oh God, I'm gonna go throw up now. Bye.
All right. There's some pretty good spots if you need advice where to throw up.
I got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Do that.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, it's now the party's goal to gather 500 gold to buy an
I
arse.
know it is.
I am down to my asshole.
Yeah, no, and also like we'll get the 500 if we kill all the things. So
I'm
it's totally doable.
completely
all
down to my
funny.
asshole.
We have all that stuff we haven't sold yet.
All right,
Yeah.
so sadly we are at time. So we will stop here. And this, you want me to leave you on this map so you can kind of see different things to do during the week, or do you want me to push you back on the big map for?
This map's fine for me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all
Ditto.
right, I'll leave you guys on this map.
Do we
But
just assume if we want to sell our stuff, we can just post it in?
yeah, if as long as you yeah, as long as you accept the fact that we use listed prices, and since you're, unless you have a means to completely restore equipment, you are going to sell them probably at 50% of their listed value. And a lot of that is not just the fact that the equipment's used, but also that these other people pay
They want to make
taxes.
profit as
Right,
well.
these
Yeah.
other people pay taxes and shit so that they can have like a shop and like a place to sell things and permission to sell things and all that. So like a lot of people, when they play D&D, they remember like video games, and they're like, well, why can't I just sell it for what it's worth? Like, I'm super charismatic and everything. And it's like, cool, but you are not a shopkeeper. Like the shopkeeper's job is to sell stuff. Like your job is to adventure. So as long as you are okay with like, hey, whatever the listed value in the PHB is, we can sell it for half that price. Then you just need to type into treasure like, I sold this stuff and I don't care. Because fantasy shopping is great, but playing Dungeons and Dragons is even better. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind. But that being said, like, luck of the draw was pickpocketing. So if any of you are pickpockets and you wanted to pickpocket, how I like to do pickpocketing is less of a, you pick this one person's pocket and we see how it goes, and more of let's see how pickpocketing for the afternoon went. Roll a skill check to represent your efforts for the afternoon, kind of thing. I treat it the same way you would treat like doing a performance or a trade skill, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
Jenna would just be like flirting with random dudes trying to
Oh yeah,
steal
you
stuff.
haven't had to buy a single drink since you got there. Because yeah, as progressive as fifth edition is, sadly, some of these boy NPCs and girl NPCs will just be boys and girls. So they, you know, as woke as they are, they can't help but make bad decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my life, I got worried about getting pregnant this session. That was
Oh
great.
wow.
I
Okay.
didn't know. I didn't know
Uh,
how that felt until now.
yeah, there
Can you
are.
get pregnant in D&D? I don't want it.
Unfortunately, you can. And there are official rules for it from older editions of the game. It is a mess. Most people in fifth edition just take the Game of Thrones moon tea approach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you drink your moon tea, you don't worry about having a baby
Okay,
situation.
okay, that's good.
Yeah. But just like medieval, like real world, that there were all sorts of contraceptive measures available for people. So like, again, it's one of those things that like it would be 100% like player choice if you
Okay,
decided to be a
okay, very
pregnant
good. Yeah,
adventurer.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm using all contraceptive
And
as
it is a
possible.
hot disaster if you try to adventure while pregnant. Just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, not my goals at all.
The hobgoblins make it look easy. Like, they just give birth on the battlefield. Like, but that might be one of their racial abilities. I'm not sure. So, but yeah. As you can see, there's a lot going on in Saltmarsh. And so it's sort of like, I was talking to some other GMs. It's sort of like a very small Grand Theft Auto game. Like, there's like enough factions and things to do that you definitely could kind of go your own way. Like, for example, when they get done with the evidence, they're probably going to float one or two jobs past you guys, but you guys will be under no, like, you're not under the gun to like take the jobs. Like, so if you're like, no thanks, and you decide to do one of these like other quests, then they'll just hire somebody else to do that job. And then when that's over, we'll essentially be progressing through the 7 core adventures of the Saltmarsh campaign. That doesn't mean you actually have to do the 7 core adventures, but it means that someone will be doing them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the cute thing about Sun and Moon is I kind of like to think that the other adventuring party is walking around this festival somewhere. And so like maybe the jobs that you guys don't do, they do, and vice versa, kind of thing. That might be kind of a neat angle. But
Like the Resident Evil 2, Claire and Leon stories.
right,
The
yeah.
two stories.
So like, and again, like the calendar will progress, the story will progress. Your guys' amount of involvement with the core story is totally up to you. But like the timetable of events will play out. So
Yeah, I had the
your
Saltmarsh group. They didn't do any of the core adventures at all.
yeah, you could go and tell people like, yeah, I played through Saltmarsh, and people are like, oh, well, what about that thing that happened? And you're like, wait, what? And you're like, yeah, and then when this other thing happened, and you're like, so let
Oh,
me
you
tell you
think that
about
adventure on the pirate ship with Arsehole was amazing?
yeah. let me tell you about the time that we killed the laughing bandits so we could buy asshole out of slavery. They're like, are you sure you played Saltmarsh? Because that doesn't sound like the same Saltmarsh that I played. And that's how you know you were in a good group. I think of any published campaign, it's probably what is it? Storm King's Thunder is the most sandbox. I doubt any group could be like, I had the exact same Storm King's Thunder that you guys did. Like it seems like it would be impossible
I've
because
heard that basically if you've played it before, if you just join the party on session 4, you'll
Mhm.
probably still never see anything that you saw last time.
yeah, it is that sandbox. I have huge regrets in my heart for running it. So because it is just like it is literally that big map of the entire Sword Coast. It's all of that. Like that's the entire campaign setting. Like the players could literally just be like, yeah, we're just gonna go here. We'll travel for like 3 weeks and go there, and you're like, okay, I guess that's the campaign. Yeah, it's wild. Your
Probably
guys
some-
is a little more regionally focused. So, but beyond being regionally focused, whatever direction you guys want to go with this, I will try to go in that direction. So don't feel at all pressured to do any quest that is floated past you.
Oh, yeah, so before I forget,
Yeah.
the reason Vesh was going to find Garuda is because, of course, he wants to try and talk Garuda into winning that archery contest to impress.
Oh, smart. Yeah, I think Garuda could probably win that thing no problem.
Wait, really? Okay, yep, Euro's not for it.
I want to see Vesh fight in the circle pit.
Oh well, the thing is that they're all just kind of like non-violent games. It sounds like in there. That's not really his idea of fun. Like, I hear, yeah, he was chatting with that other guy. Was it Garen?
Gellin.
Gellen, yeah. Then he mentioned the potential of some sort of maybe like underground fighting ring or something like that. So yeah, I'll talk to him about that
Oh,
later.
is that what that was about? I thought he was.
That was it. Was definitely a hint about something.
I thought, yeah, I thought it was gay sex.
I mean, I mean that
That's how
definitely
Vesh
happens in a port, yeah, in a port town especially, but pretty much anywhere. Pirates actually historically were like super bisexual, like as a culture. And they had these things called like what was it? Can't remember the term, but basically if two pirates got married, um, like pirate married, they would share everything. But you could also be like polyamorous and like be pirate married to like more than one person. So you would have like it was yeah, it was a lot of like live the life you want to live kind of thing with pirates, which was kind of the more endearing side of an otherwise bloodthirsty culture.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
unless like someone actually drags Vesh into a bedroom and takes his clothes off, he's probably not noticed anything sexual whatsoever. He's that sort of character.
Yeah, he's definitely the least sexualized of everyone in the party.
Yeah.
Somehow the bird is more sexual than you.
Yeah, I didn't do anything
Yeah,
sexual.
when you said you pulled your feathers apart to reveal your pistol, I was like, whoa. Feeling some heart palpitations there for a second. All right.
Did I?
Anyways,
Did I even cross my mind? Did I
all
even
right.
cross
I
my
hope
mind?
everybody had fun today, and I
Yep.
hope you enjoy the upcoming week. And I look forward to next week. And yeah, we'll continue where we left off at the festival with you guys sort of getting more information about the town. Early campaign. This is one of the smarter things you can do is sort of get a really good feel for the setting and the town. So hopefully it is an enjoyable experience and isn't too boring. Because
Wow, that's
then it puts you in a better position to choose the path forward that works best for your group. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff to think about.
So it's info gathering and
Yeah.
hand taking time at the moment. Yeah.
All right. Well,
All
I
right,
will talk to
thanks,
you guys
Crash.
later. I got to walk my doggos.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Same.
Later.
That's why I was barking at me.
So yeah.
All right. See ya.
Bye.